And according to this, I am live. All right. Anyone out there? Maybe not.
So is this a live stream or?
Yeah. As in, I just heard you. So far, no one. Actually, someone might be on. All right, there's Zach. All right. Let's see. Trying to figure out what Deep had in mind. Let's see. He mentioned Java Basics, Java Basics 2, and the robot code. So, yeah, I don't know how big the delay is, by the way. So let's see, let's judge it. Let's do a round trip delay count. I'm going to say a number, and I want you to type the number in the chat after I say it, or right after I say it, so that I can kind of judge how long the delay is. So 97. Let's see how long it's going to take to put 97 up in the chat. Kind of judging it. Let's see, that's quite a long wait. Why is it that? Please don't be that long. It's getting longer. Still longer. Wow. More than 15 seconds delay? How? I don't want it to be a minute delay now. Because that's what we're looking at. 20 seconds probably gone by. 25. 30. 35. I mean, are we... Is it... I assume my audio's on. I didn't change audio levels last time. As this is a long delay. Very, very long delay. Yeah, I'm already in my preview. I'm already seeing myself talk, so I just assume nobody's there to let me know. Yep, no one's probably even gonna talk back, so. Let's see. Okay, so there's not much delay between the two. Okay. And yes, I know I put black bars around me, but that was needed to, so I can have the right dimensions for my camera. And it looks like we have 2 people. Now that might have been me down here though. I gotta turn off notifications somewhere, apparently. So... Atash said he was on, but why is the chat not showing that? Or did you not push in the chat? Or is that, Atash, are you in the chat room? Okay. That's interesting. Turn on the volume so I can at least hear myself think. And...
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are.
Jesus Christ.
Why did it not pick you up before?
Hear me. Can you see my messages?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Chat? You can hear my message. Can you see my messages in the chat? I've like saying it for a long time.
And the live chat?
I can't hear you now.
Which are you listening to me on YouTube, or are you listening to me
On
through
YouTube,
Discord?
you're like saying, you said say 97. It's on Tech 97. I'm like,
Alright. Something weird's going on. Testing. Let's turn this down. Test. Maybe a little more. Alright. But no, I cannot see you in the chat.
gee. I have to keep refreshing Discord.
Why?
I don't know. It just keeps disconnecting my voice.
Okay. And also you said you were chatting in the live chat?
Like, I'll say hello in 3, 2, 1. I said hello.
Nothing's in the live chat.
You sure?
I can probably try to reload the live chat. Oh, there you are.
I see my messages. I can't type. Let's see if I can see your messages.
That's weird.
Discord
Can
now.
you see that one?
Let me see. No, I cannot see your messages.
Alright, that's an issue. And let's just resituate this.
Perhaps something's wrong.
No, I figured it out. I just have to get everything set up again for that new chat. What about now?
Yep.
Alright. I was just in the wrong window.
This is my. Can you see my messages?
Yeah, I can. Now I can. Yeah, you said hi.
Alright, cool.
And you said 97, 96, 95, 94. I don't know why I went down like that.
That's all you.
Something else I need to do is snooze there so I don't get notifications from it. And let's download
like-
this.
I don't know how much the delay is.
I know, I was trying to figure that one out.
You just put down the can of beer.
Do it?
It's the can.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I know what I was gonna do. Let's see. Downloads. Move. Cam overlay. Videos. Into cam overlay. And there we are. Alright, something that could be done. Let's see, we're gonna add image called.
Are the other programmers getting on?
I don't know about Deep. Deep just sent me an image through what you might call it, right? I don't.
Slack.
Yeah.
I see
That
it.
thing.
Yeah. He's a very good visual designer.
Yes.
Been doing it for a couple years now. Why he doesn't do it?
Alright, so you're gonna see me edit the screen for a minute, but it's because I need this to be a little bit bigger. Pretty sure you guys don't mind. Oh, not what I meant to do.
See.
Oh, not what I meant to do either. What did I just change? Just the base. Let's move the base to the very bottom. And to the left, let's move the camera overlay.
Box might be a little bigger.
Do it. The font? Yeah. How's that look with the camera and everything? Doesn't help that my shirt matches it, does it?
Guess not.
Alright.
No, because there's a little bit of a delay.
I know there is. But how... I don't know how little of a delay there is. Tell me when the screen switches over.
Or 4. Full screen right now. Do something. I'll tell you when it happens.
I did already do something.
Type in YouTube in your Google bar.
Hold on. I did do something. Does it not show that I switched over to VS Code?
Yeah, I see it. I see it now, but that happened a while back. I'm saying, oh, that just happened when you went full screen. Like, just now.
You mean when I went to VS Code full screen?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big
But
delay.
not full screen.
Huh. Are you sure your gray is
No,
the...
I'm red. I'm red.
You're red? Alright, tell me when I switch over to just the full screen facial features.
Okay. You haven't yet. You haven't yet.
Okay.
Haven't yet.
Still not? This is a huge delay.
No, just now. Yep, right now.
What are we looking at? About 30 seconds, 45 seconds?
Yeah, about. I'd say. Okay, over here. Just kidding.
Alright, so we got 4 viewers online. I don't know who's all here.
I can check the chat.
Yep, I don't know if it'll tell you who's
Type in chat, I'll see their names, but
Oh, okay.
Deep, me, you, and I don't know who the last one is. What?
Huh. That is strange. How's the is the audio synced with my lips? I tried to make sure of that before the stream as well.
I don't know, let me check. It's yeah, it's synced.
Is it out of sync? Because it should be in sync from, like, I've recorded videos separately
it's
and...
in sync. It's synced.
Okay. Alright. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So let's see. Who are we missing? We got, I think Zach was online earlier. I think that was Deep. And we have Atosh. Is that gonna be the full crowd today? Because I definitely need Deep in the chat though, in Discord.
Yeah, ask Kevin. Ask Kevin and Zach. Zach, well, it's his birthday. You know that?
I thought yesterday was his birthday.
This weekend.
Okay.
Just saying. Kevin, Ken.
Yeah, because I thought yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. It's this weekend.
Okay.
Oh,
Hello.
Hey, Zach.
Hey. I recognize that voice.
Really? I don't.
Okay. Well, then get off. That was mainly for Deep. Because I don't think Deep's on here. Or do you think he even has a microphone? I don't know.
I think he does.
I mean, he has a laptop, so it's probably built in.
Deep, I don't mind if you, actually, I prefer you use the Technomancers account. If you're listening. It's a whole lot easier on me than having to chat and do a live stream at the same time.
Kevin can't get on, so this is a crowd.
Alright.
Did he?
Whose was that? That wasn't mine. Or was it mine?
Who's Nilty?
That is probably... What's his face? Deep.
Kevin, Deep.
No, Kevin's the Asian boy thing. That one. Yeah.
He's getting on Discord.
Yep, that's him.
Oh, God. I love these physics questions.
There we are. Alright, so we got it. Now we just need Kevin and...
Kevin's not getting on.
he just turned online on for Discord.
What?
Yep. That's for Discord.
Whatever.
Whoa.
I'm surprised, Deep, do you know how to use the,
He's not in the voice chat yet.
Someone is.
Kevin is.
That's Kevin.
It's Kevin. Okay, Kevin. Did you?
Kevin deafened himself.
Alright. Alright. Yeah, Deep has the plan, so I can't really... I kind of followed along what he sent earlier, but that was about it.
Deep as everything's controlled. Something. Wait. Oh, I can't do anything to you.
What do you mean, me?
Yeah, I was just wondering.
What do you want to do to me?
I was just wondering if like I had the controls between the time. I don't know. I was just wondering.
If you were
Nope.
a mod.
I know.
No, I don't know who's moderator and who's not, tell you the truth. I might be the only one. This is only for really chatting, not really for anything else.
Kevin, is that your mom or is that Tina?
I have it memorized. ML squared. Where? Oh Christ! Oh, sorry.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yes, because
Yeah.
you're not on push to talk, you're on voice activity.
Oh yeah, I can't do it on my phone. Forgot about that. Hey.
Woohoo! Something I do need to ask. How good's the text in both of those windows whenever they show up on the stream?
And now we wait for when they come up onto the screen.
Alright. Let me see if I can guess it. Now.
Yep,
No.
Sweet.
pretty much.
Well, I mean,
Mine is still
I'm kind of watching the preview as well, so
What is it,
not
like a
only
30
do I
second?
I don't know. I can't really tell you. I just want to see how close my preview is to your preview, right? Mine's a preview, not the actual live stream.
Right.
So, all right, but how good is that text?
Like how quality-wise?
Can you read it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because do you want to see how? Can you read the menu text?
Like you can definitely read this as long as
Can
you
you
like
read-
make the video size or
Okay.
like if you go into like theater mode in YouTube, the chat just gets bumped down a little bit, but it's
That's fine. See how you can read that, and this is why I'm asking.
now we
Yeah,
wait
Because
30
it looks,
seconds.
yeah, right. But it looks huge for me.
Kevin.
Oop, we lost somebody.
Kevin's probably swapping to his computer.
Yeah, that was Kevin. Yep, here we go. There you are. Can you read that text?
That is tiny as fuck.
Yeah, I figured. That is
That's
what, to me, I can read that. But the only reason, it's a 4K monitor, so I can read that.
Yeah. You know, that is tiny as fuck.
I think that's about as big as I want to get it. So it looks huge for me. But I'm trying to imagine people that are on phones and stuff.
Oh yeah, because if this was on a phone, like even on a freaking computer, is like being able to maximize the thing. On my monitor size, like oh that looks good, but on a phone, oh garbo.
Yep, that's kind of why I'm trying to stick with a good setting for a good median.
Let me check on my phone. My phone is a high resolution than my computer though, which is pretty funny.
Somebody's playing their YouTube playback audio.
No, it's just Atosh on his phone.
Oh, to see how the quality is on it.
Yep.
Alright.
Don't judge me.
I won't judge you. This is not something to judge you for. Don't worry, dude.
No, because that means
I
you're
was just
checking the
thinking,
quality
like-
of everything.
I was thinking if I could see it on my phone, which I can.
Yep.
But my phone's
That's
also a 2K quality, so I don't know.
Meh.
Check on your iPhone.
So,
I don't know. What
I
is it?
could.
Make it.
if it displays on your phone and you can read it, I am fine with it. I don't care. 2K, whatever. I think
An
it will
effective
be a
size, though.
decent size.
Okay.
Alright, so what I'm waiting on is I'm waiting on Deep to make sure, because he's the one that has the schedule for this stream.
Yep. And he should also share it with us so that we can actually follow along. Otherwise, it's just like a.
If I'm not mistaken, I'll put it in Slack. I don't know if he's revised it.
Yeah. I saw
But
the earlier version.
Yeah, he might have revised it. I don't know. So I'm kind of winging it.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's
'Cause-
talking about modifiers, so I assume I need to look up what private. But there's public, private, protected.
Static.
That's a
Final.
completely different modifier. There's visibility modifiers, and then there's static, non-static, constants.
Final.
I think
Well,
final and constant aren't the same,
yeah.
right?
What?
I think final and constants are the same.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. There's no such thing as a const variable. Alright.
I'm just thinking
So-
const. I've used it before.
In Java?
No, I used constant C and some C++.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different language. My bad.
It's fine.
Is Kevin online?
He is somewhere.
Okay.
It might be. This
Like, what are you doing to that cat?
Nothing.
It was screaming. It's screaming. I think it's screaming.
Now look at the camera. Do you see us? No, no. Look at the camera. Meow. Say hello.
Oh.
Alright, Deep said he was back, and that was a few minutes, alright. Alright. I don't know how to get him to join the stream channel. Or the stream voice channel. Or does he have to join himself?
Oh.
Alright. That was not me this time. Who was that? Um. I heard somebody drop off. Who was that?
It was. And then that was Kevin and Zach.
Oh, this is for Kevin. You gotta play the stream volume though to hear this one.
Let's call it a night, Shane. I'm serious now. Don't make me listen. Let me put it to you like you're out of ammo. Where did your go? You never get
Okay, we'll change the kinetic energy.
without a life bar.
Did they go offline?
Alright, sure.
Just flee
One.
clearly or sleep. You could be snoozing instead
So how did exams go this week for you?
I had one comp statement. I thought it was decent. Tomorrow. The calculus. Who took his SO test?
All right. It's game over, Shane. Game over, Shane.
Game over, Shane. My name is Wally. I'm a wizard, and you know I've been around. So don't be talking shit, or I'ma have to put you
All
down.
right.
I got a magic wand and
Uh,
a mace, and then I'll hop onto my dragon and
I'm back.
torch the whole place.
Says everyone's muted. What?
They shower me with riches. I got magic in these fingers. Just ask my 20 bitches. Game over, Shane. It's game over, Shane. Turn the power off.
I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to push to talk.
You
Do
don't
I?
have to, but like people who aren't talking.
Well,
will be
no.
sitting in the
I'm
voice
talking
channel.
about. I'm talking about this channel itself. I don't think I set the settings for this channel to be push to talk. Did I?
No. Not yet. Because Kevin was in
I'm-
here. When he was not.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hey, Tosh.
Atash.
I guess he's not at the mic.
Probably not. I don't know if he. I don't think he has push to talk enabled. If that's what you're about to ask.
No, I don't see what could have given you that idea.
I mean, I can enable it, and I'm tempted to do it because it's like the best part about it.
Mhm.
But also, it seems as if Deep's having issues connecting to this channel.
Yeah.
It says when he's connecting, everyone's muted.
Maybe he accidentally deafened himself, but even then, like that doesn't make sense because he's not.
Right? What I need is a coming back soon screen.
Hmm.
I wonder.
Oh wait, you can push to talk. Oh, you can push to talk in the web app.
Can you? They
just
might
have
have
to-
just updated it.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Deep.
Okay. Okay, I think.
You were really quiet.
Yeah, but luckily, you're with the...
Yeah. Okay. Wait, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I closed the app and I don't know where it's at.
Thankfully, we can personally mute people. So I just went ahead and muted Data.
But you muted him for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I did a server mute, so now everyone doesn't have to hear him.
If he comes back, just let me know and I'll unmute him.
Well, see, I don't know how he comes back. I don't know when he'll come back.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, how do I enable push to talk?
So, are you on the desktop app or are you just
Yeah.
like in the web app? Or okay. Down by your name, you should see a gear that says user.
Yeah.
Click there, go to voice,
Uh-huh.
and then you can tap push to talk. And you can set your key and also like mic sensitivity and some other things like that.
Boy, sorry.
Alright, tell me if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Alright, I don't think you heard.
Probably not.
No, because, what's this something?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear the other thing.
Then I got it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, by the way, Kevin can't be here because he has to work.
Oh, okay. Well,
Stupid work.
I snapped him. He said his dad's on vacation, so he said he has to work.
what? Alright.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay, because 3 videos, 3 people to talk. Right.
Yeah.
So I go to my Google Plus page in like forever,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 out of 6 of the photos that show up are about cats.
I see that you've had your priorities straight for a while now.
The other 2 are about Linux.
I see you really have your priorities straight now.
Yep.
Dude,
Oh,
you,
great.
you have not changed, I feel like. You've probably only, like, evolved, but what your
Yep, I've
interests are
evolved to
still
love
not.
both of them even more.
There you
Yeah, we'll enable this. Just to let you know, Deep, I am enabling Google Plus for Technomancers.
Okay. Yeah, the stream's
Because
lagging
right now,
too.
well, Deep, you're kind of the front-facing person. Even though I'm the person that everyone sees, you're the person that
Yeah,
does
Deep.
everything else.
You are his eyes and ears.
Alright, alright.
I'm trying to figure out where I can get photos, though. Is it pictures or photos.google?
I think it's photos, or I don't know.
Yep, it's photos. Of course, I gotta click next through everything. Alright. Just real quick, just to let you guys know what I'm doing. I'm coming up with a makeshift, be right back screen.
Okay. Hey Deep, so did you change anything in the like outline schedule type thing that you put on Slack?
No. Basically, after I did what I posted, Will just said that. Well, I suggested that we should just replace one because Will said that we might have to do JavaScript for one of the videos. So we're gonna leave one of the things I left out for another video or for next week.
Didn't
We
already
don't
do
have
a
to-
Java Basics one?
No.
I think that was Git Basics, but I'm not sure.
No, there was Git Basics, Object Oriented, and.
Oh, you're right. And the environment.
So we haven't actually covered Java.
Yeah.
And also, we don't have to do JavaScript. I thought
Cameron.
you wanted me to cover JavaScript or something, so.
I think Cameron did, so we can cover JavaScript when Cameron gets here. If
Alright, not.
We need to really
I think the
get
only reason he wants it, though,
Everyone
is.
What's up?
we should get
Is it
everyone
the
else
only
in here.
reason that he. No.
And there's just like a giant party. But then it'll be way too noisy.
Yeah. Just to let you know what I'm doing, I am trying to load. I'm just loading the banner in as the screen to say that I'm gonna be right back because I gotta go do stuff real quick, but I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Alright.
But the stream's still gonna be going, as in my mic's gonna be muted, but your mics won't be muted, and the music's still playing.
Fabulous.
So you two can talk over whatever you want and blow on the live stream without me.
Is he gone? I don't know. Well,
I think he's gone.
I think he's gone too.
I
Alright.
see the banner.
Alright, dude. You ready?
Is this stream lagging for you?
Uh,
No, I mean like the video.
oh. Like, it's not dropping frames, but a big thing is that it is... I mean, obviously there's like a 30-second delay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that in this banner, or in this picture, Ryan and Will are standing right next to each other?
Where are they at?
They're
I
in the
see-
middle.
yeah, I see them, I
Yeah,
see them,
can you
yeah.
can you tell the difference? Honestly,
One's smiling, one's not.
you're right. That's the difference, I think. Hmm. Do you see Jalen?
originally- Oh yeah, I noticed them when I was like going and stuff.
Rip. Alright, so while Will's gone, let's just take over the live stream, you ready?
Alright, so what's up, dudes? We're Technomancers. It's Zach and Deep. We're missing Kevin currently.
You sound like
and
an
Jeffrey.
amateur radio talk show host.
That's what we're doing right now, bro. It's a stream.
Pretty much,
You
right?
don't edit radio talk shows.
It's like, what's up, guys? It's PewDiePie! It's like, wait a second. Nope, that's not. Studying calculus.
Wait, what math are you taking?
I'm taking further math HL.
Oh yeah, Jenner told me that, but I'm like, I don't
so
believe
it's like math HL, but math HL has 5 optional topics that you have to do at least like one of. They chose calculus. I have to do all 5 optional topics as mandatory work.
Wow.
So yeah.
Woo! Well, that sucks. Well, now that we're out, we took our exams, and we can just sit in this flex class.
Yeet. What are you guys even gonna do in there? Wait, do you have any other exams? You already took Spanish, yeah?
No, I take Spanish next week.
Oh,
I mean, it's not that hard. I think I'm pretty good at it.
Caliente.
Do you guys have a party without me?
No?
No,
No, it looks like Tosh is...
Yeah, Atosh is back on.
Hey, Tosh?
We can hear you now, or I unmuted you.
Same. Sounds like Atosh is still not here. I guess. Never mind, he is here.
Well, he's typing.
but we cannot hear you.
I'm right here. Love me. Well, then
oh,
talk.
okay. Now we can hear you.
Just
But just
unmuted me.
No. We can individually mute you, meaning we as an individual cannot hear you, but we both unmuted you, and you just weren't.
Oh.
Yeah. It was just so we can get rid of the background music.
Yep.
Also,
I don't know if you'd call that music.
uh,
That's muted.
Deep.
Yeah.
Something to put on just a list of things to do. It doesn't matter when it's getting done.
Uh-huh.
On the screen that's displaying now, maybe put like a couple screens of "Be right back," "Airing soon," stuff like just
Oh, yeah.
simple messages.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean this screen's perfect to do it with. Just put the text at the top of it or something.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, I can do that.
I just figured that would be a nice front-facing screen for like if I need to get off camera and do something, or if we do, like it's only a 5-10 minute deal, so I don't need to stop the stream for it.
Alright.
But it's also nice to have like coming soon, as in, or airing soon, or whatever you want to say. Because whenever I start up a video stream, sometimes I don't want my voice or camera right there, right when we start up the
Yeah.
stream. So. Again, that's just quality of life. Don't have to be done anytime soon.
Yeah, I got it.
Alright, so the first thing, I think we were going to cover Java basics, right?
I think so. Yes, Java.
Alright.
Basic.
I don't know, what do you have for the checklist for Java basics?
It's on Slack.
Is it the same list, just...
Oh yeah, I didn't change it.
Okay. So let's see, we have classes, modifiers, data types, and variables.
Zach disconnected.
Yep. And I didn't mute, was that, Atosh that muted himself? Because I didn't do that.
Probably.
Alright.
He was talking.
So let's
2
do-
seconds.
We want to do a quick introduction. Classes. So with modifiers, I assume you mean public, private, protected, static, and the return,
Alright.
or...
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Okay. Then we have data types. So I don't know all the basic data types. I know there's string, int,
Char or char.
car, characters.
Floats.
Is it floats or is it
Float in Java.
and it's not a double? Okay.
Double is also in Java, but I think the basic is float. Double is more
Okay.
memory.
Well, also, is it int or integer for Java? Because I know
Int.
there's like
Int.
Okay.
You can cache it.
Capital integer is like an object, but int is the basic data.
okay, because I think integer is the interface, isn't it?
Something
Or
else
is it
like
an
that.
object? Okay.
No.
It's not an interface. I think it's an object.
It's a superclass.
Like,
Okay.
You can pack like basic integers into a capitalizing sort of thing.
So do you think introducing maybe this hello world that I have?
Yep. Also boolean.
Okay. If you look at the left-hand side, that's quite a bit of files for Java.
Yeah. You can hide
Uh,
the Explorer. Though.
You're right, but I mean, I can. But then if I want to do Gradle build, right? And then after I do Gradle build, I can do. I think it's in dis. No, it's in build. And then in libraries, there's that. So sorry, I know I'm talking and you guys can't see what I'm doing, but what I'm saying is, do they want to see it run or no?
You should probably make it run.
Alright, so then do I have to cover Gradle? Because I have to use Gradle to make it run. Because I mean, there's again a lot of things that I can cover in Java, right?
Mm,
So what do you think, Deep? Do you want to cover running it or no? Or is that for another tutorial?
I mean, if we have like extra time, well, it depends how long we actually run the video recording, because we don't want it too long. But if we have enough time, then yeah, we could.
Okay. Because I don't want to be like sitting here building and running it to show them, to prove to them that it runs. Instead, I would prefer. But I will have to show them the Explorer, because if I talk about public classes and private classes, those are two different things, and
right.
and I'm also going to need an example of, like, it's going to take me more time trying to think of what a private class would be, what a public class would be, stuff like this.
Well, I mean, you could use private variables instead of private classes, because that would probably be easier to talk about.
Okay. And just have two different classes inside of the main package, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So who wants to join me for this one?
Deep.
Yeah, I guess I can.
Right.
I mean, the stream's laggy for me, so I don't know if I can like keep up with what you're doing.
You mean like lag?
No, I mean like it's behind.
Yeah. It's behind, I think, for all of us, just because stream delay.
How can we fix that? Because I understand that's an issue.
Yeah, I can just follow with what you're talking about.
So, like,
But it's not the same, because I'll be talking about something, and then you won't know what I'm really working on, because...
Yeah, true.
We could do a separate thing where it's like... Well, Discord doesn't have screen sharing.
That's what I was wondering, should we use Google Hangouts?
Because that would be able to screen share. But would that be, like, too much on your... Because you'd have, like, two streaming things.
I know. Do you want to test it out and just tell me how the audio, or how the quality is affected?
Heck yeah, dude. Let's do it. Because then if you screen share through there, then we can just look at that instead of looking at the delayed
I still need somebody to pay attention to the,
stream chat.
No, I can see the stream chat. I'm talking about, I need somebody to pay attention to the actual stream itself, to make sure the quality is not, like, horrendous.
That can probably just be like the ones who aren't talking / guest speak. Me and Atosh. Atosh is studying though, yeah? I assume yep, he's studying. So I'm like half studying, so I can pay attention.
Alright.
No,
So,
Atosh,
I'm
we
gonna
can't
leave
hear you.
Discord. I'm leaving Discord, and that is the link to the new Google Hangout. So,
Deep, go ahead. You can go over there, but
Alright.
well, I'm leaving Discord too. So,
yeah, I'm gonna get into the hangout and then just like not say anything and then just watch the thing.
that's fine. You can mute yourself, or I can mute you in Hangouts. So,
Yes.
yep. There's Zach. Can you hear me, Zach? Chat, can you hear me? Because I cannot hear you. Oh, yeah. You guys can see that horrendous thing. But I can't hear you, Zach. And I don't know if it's my audio quality or not.
Oh yeah, no, I muted myself.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, because according to the stream, you can or cannot.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, there's Atosh. Atosh has a webcam, and I can't hear Atosh. I probably need to change my audio settings.
I didn't know you guys left the thing.
Yep, now I can hear Atosh.
You can hear me?
Alright.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I can hear
you.
both you guys. It's hella quiet.
That might be your
I
just
can
quality.
my webcam.
Can you guys hear me?
Because, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
How's the stream quality going? According to YouTube, it's doing good still, and I'm screen sharing my screen. So
Let's just wait for it to come up. Oh wait, yeah. No, it looks like it's going fine.
I will be the ad. I'm missing my admin job.
missing a what?
My admin job. I have to give the plugs.
I know it's going well. Everything's just kind of quiet for me, so I'm gonna up the volume.
Why did you put the okay, Atosh?
Yeah.
What link did you put inside of YouTube or inside of the channel?
He said he wanted the Google Hangouts link. I removed it.
All right, thanks. I mean, this is kind.
You asked for it. I'll go through Slack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better idea.
That would be a better idea. Can you guys see my screen? I know it looks horrendous in the bottom right corner, but
No, I cannot see it on the Google Hangouts right now.
Atosh, can you see it?
For what? I can't see nothing.
You can't see my screen at all.
Nope.
No, you're not sharing it yet.
For me,
It
it's
said
just a
I
black
was
screen.
sharing it.
For me, it's just a black screen.
Alright. Sharing it again.
There we go. Now I can see it.
Okay. I assume it's pretty live. I mean, I know it looks horrendous in the bottom right, but still. Because what you're seeing is you're viewing both of my screens.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, see the...
Yeah, so the YouTube playback that you're seeing is lagging through this, but like that's
yeah.
going through like a few different windows.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I have to deal with all this. Hey, is that deep? Yep.
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Barely.
Turn yourself up, boy.
Hold on, it's because I'm on earbuds.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, yeah, I just have to bring this little piece closer to my mouth.
Alright. Yeah, because that's definitely going to have to happen if you're going to be talking on the stream, because
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how he will sound over the rest of the audio.
Let me
Desktop
see.
audio, though.
Hold on. Let me see. Deep is like really quiet on the stream.
What?
Alright.
Oh.
So if he's quiet on the stream, then I can decrease the audio for this music.
Is there a setting for the microphone?
For the gain? I don't know about Windows.
Yeah, no, Deep, you can go into like your computer settings and then up your microphone itself from there, or like your audio manager or something.
Wait, can you hear me now? Because I changed my microphone.
Hold on.
I can still hear you, Deep, yes.
Wait, is it
Still about
like
the same
better or,
volume though.
Like worse.
Still the same volume.
How about now?
Still seems the same volume.
All right, then yeah.
Deep
I'll have
is
to check
louder
it.
on the stream now.
Okay.
Just a little
Okay,
bit.
then. I just go to YouTube on Chrome.
Oh, we've been streaming for an hour and 3 seconds.
Woo! Wait, Deep, say something.
Yep, I heard it, but I don't know if it's just my end and my music's a little high, or if that's the stream audio.
Let me go to my audio settings. Test. No, that's not working.
Yep, still working.
Alright, so Deep, what you had when you said let me go to my audio settings was pretty audible on the stream. I don't know if you can up your mic though.
I'm really not sure because I'm on earbuds. Let me check it out real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I can always decrease the volume of everything else.
And then people can just turn up the volume of the stream.
Yeah, but you don't want them to turn up the volume.
Mm-hmm. Can you somehow personally up... Wait, hold on. Will, do you want to take audio from Discord, but then just like mute yourself here so then we can still see screen, or no?
No, that's too many things going on at once.
Okay.
Also, it was about the same volume audio on Discord as it was in Hangouts, so it's definitely his end. In Windows, or maybe in the playback setting, not playback settings, but record settings, should be like an option to increase the gain of a microphone. Should be.
There's 5 people watching. Who's it for?
Oh, I'm watching on 2 screens. Oops.
Oh.
I'm joking.
I don't know how many people are watching. I just have what, peak concurrent, so that's about 5 people.
Is that cool? I should get out Discord. Is that cool? Is that cool? I'm cool. Hello? Hello? Can someone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Alright, I have so many microphone problems. Whoa. Linux.
My microphone's all the way up.
Alright. That's fun. We'll figure it out.
Internet's pooping again. Rip.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Somebody's just spamming their keyboard. Who is that?
Oh, that's me. Sorry. Hold on.
Why were you
I'll mute
spamming
myself.
your keyboard?
I'm typing to Mark. I have one of those clicky keyboards, you know?
Yeah, so do I, but you still don't hear me go. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not going to beat something. Oh, here, I'll just type here.
Yeah, you definitely hear it.
Yeah, but I don't type that hard.
Well, okay,
I
I'll
don't
try
see
to
how
do
you're
that.
typing so hard.
You type really fast.
So do I, but not like I don't type hard.
It's probably grim, honestly. The
Uh,
echo.
it's okay. I'll be muted during the stream.
All right. So we're going to go over Java basics. I need to have this up for me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Well, actually, I don't need it up, because if I'm going to be winging it, then it's going to be up to whoever I'm talking to go through the different outlines, right?
Did Deep leave?
Did he?
Deep's not in here anymore. Bring back Deep. Oh, Deep lost connection.
Lovely.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Cool. Okay, so Deep, basically how this is gonna work is you'll have the outline,
Uh-huh.
and you'll so it'll basically just be like Will do his intro. Today we'll be talking about blah 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 blah. And then you'll start out with like an opening question. He's like, so Will, like, could you tell me about like Java classes and like Java basics overall? And then he'd just start talking, and then like he'd like as we move towards the transition, probably like people who are talking just like take a few like longer spaces, and then like in those
Hey.
spaces ask the next question, or you know like ask a follow-up question so you guys can like follow that path and transition on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the kind of idea.
Yep. I don't know if there'll be a transition, so we're going to cover classes. Classes are pretty simple to go over. We've already kind of covered them in object-oriented languages. So it's... I don't know how long it's going to take to cover classes. It's going to be like, hey, this is a class. A class is an object. We were talking about blah and blah earlier. This is how you can type them out. The basics of it. I may cover... Do you think constructors should be covered
Yeah,
in classes?
constructors. Default
Alright.
constructors, and then like specific like parameter-based constructors.
Okay, so we have constructors. Do we want Java docs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Alright. I'm actually going to remove Java docs for now, because I think that's another topic for another day.
Okay.
Just for me personally. So...
Yeah.
We cover classes. Classes, I'm going to cover constructors. Do I need to talk about entry point for executable JavaScript? Or Java code, excuse me? Does that make sense? Yes, no, did I lose everyone?
No, I'm here.
Alright.
Is I think Zach.
I'm trying to figure out, do I need... So when I'm talking about classes, I'm going to cover classes like an object. You have certain types of objects. I don't want to cover abstract. I think that's a little too complicated for like a basics Java class. But do I need to talk about entry point?
Where is that gonna fall in? Like at the beginning?
Probably when I talk about classes.
Yes, at the beginning. Yeah, you probably should.
Alright. Now, because that's going to cover public, static, void, main.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to go into what you said something. We're going to go into modifiers. So that's public, private, and protected.
Yeah.
Alright. Then data types. We can throw these in any order.
Yeah, just do.
Let's do data types first before modifiers,
Okay.
because it's easier to talk about modifiers when you're modifying a data type for variables.
Okay. So should modifiers be last then? Because variables is last.
So I think we're going to cover classes, so we know how to create a class, talk about variables, talk about the different data types of the variables. Those two may go into the same kind of question, just because they kind of go hand in hand with each other. And then, yes, modifiers last for Java Basics.
Okay.
That's just my suggestion. If somehow, to make it go smoother, then change it up. But
I think fine.
anyways, do what?
I think it's fine that way.
Okay. Do we need to wait on Cameron to join?
If we can.
I don't know.
If we're gonna go ahead and do the video, then probably not.
That's the thing, is I don't want to wait. If we're doing the video now, then we need to do it now. But also, I don't want to halfway through Cameron join in the hangout and throw everything off either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, is he joining Hangouts or is he joining Discord?
Do we link in the Slack?
Well, yeah, I was looking at the
Chat.
pinned stuff.
Well, you can just pull them in next.
Yeah. Just
But
link
yeah,
it
just
after.
go ahead and do this one now. Yeah.
So after we do this one?
Yeah, just go ahead and do this one.
Alright, then mute yourself, Zach.
Oh!
Alright, Deep. So how this is gonna go, again, I think Zach already covered the basics of it. I'm gonna introduce myself, then I'll say I'm here with, and then leave a pause. That's when you introduce yourself. You don't have to be very formal about it. It's supposed to be fun, so...
Okay.
but you can be as formal as you want if you wanted to.
Alright.
And then I'll ask for a question. Like, I heard, so I know we're covering Java. Well, what's the first thing you want to know about Java type thing? And then...
I'll say.
Yep.
How do you like set up your starting code to like classes?
Okay.
You answer like classes. Yeah.
Yep. I can do that then. So, what I'm actually going to do is probably delete this hello world file. That way it's empty. Alright.
Alright.
Hello YouTube, this is Will. I'm here with Technomancers, Team 1758 for First Robotics. I'm here with...
Deep Patel.
He's one of the upcoming programmers, and he's been helping me out with his YouTube channel a lot lately. Thank him for all the channel art that's going on around here. Anyways, I think we're going to cover a little bit about Java Basics today, which is what we program our robot in. So, Deep is going to ask a few questions, and I'm going to see if I can help clear up a few things.
Alright, so as a new programmer, how would you start setting up your code for whatever you're about to program?
Alright, so some of the first things, of course, you need to figure out your folder structure and how your first file is going to look, and talk about like an entry point. An entry point is when you execute code, the compiler has to know where to start executing. And that's actually called the main method. But to get there, we need to create a new file. So the folder structure is it's a little deep right now, no pun intended, because of... Anyways, we have source, which is our source code. Then we have a main, so this is like our main application. This is a main Java application, that's why we have a Java folder here. And then the rest of it is arbitrary. The reason, you kind of go backwards from what you see in the web browser. So you see technomancers.com, but instead you would see inside of Java, you'd see com.technomancers. But since our web page is technomancers.github.io, you just go backwards. And so I'm going to go io.github.technomancers. And so that's where the root of all of our projects are going to be, and that's called namespacing. It's a little bit more complicated to talk about, but just know that's kind of the general. So you'll see com.java for java.com type applications. This is just so code doesn't run on each other's foot. I don't program something for something else. So anyways, so I have this file inside of IO GitHub Technomancers called helloworld.java. So I'm going to create a simple hello world application. So to start one off, I need to, first line of code is to start off a package, because I need to tell it what package this is for. And then I'm going to go ahead and do io.github.technomancers. Notice how my IDE is noticing that this is the folder structure of everything. So then don't forget the semicolons, those will kill you. That is the very first line of code. Does nothing. I think what you're mainly interested in, though, is what a class is. So a class has to be named the same name as the file without the extension. So since I named it hello world here.java, I need to name the class hello world here. I'll go over what public means later. That is a modifier, but right now it's just classes.
Okay. Can you share the screen as well on the stream?
Yeah, I can. We're going to start over because that was a stupid mistake.
Good catch, Deep.
Yep, thanks. So, anyways. Does that kind of make sense, though? Should I go through that file structure like that? Because I know there's a lot to cover in there, but...
Because I was
Seems
starting like, wait, I can't see it on the stream. But then, like, switched over to the Hangouts video and I could see what you were doing.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that was a good catch.
Good job, Deep. Yeah.
I am gonna... Let me go grab my... I have to go do something real quick. Hold on.
Okay. I'm probably gonna go grab a bite to eat, but I'll be right back.
Alright.
Good job, Deep. Continue.
Alright. Have fun eating.
You guys let the channel go quiet, didn't you?
Yep. Zach.
You guys didn't even talk at all? I mean, this is a live stream and you're just gonna sit there quiet?
Yeah, I mean, Zach left.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he went to go eat.
Oh. So it's just you and me.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Alright. This time, after you introduce yourself, I'm gonna switch over.
Alright.
Alright. Anyways. Hey YouTube, this is Will with Technomancers. I'm one of the mentors for the Team 1758 Technomancers for First Robotics. I'm here with one of our students.
Deep Patel.
He is very interested in programming, and he has a few questions for me, so I figured we'd go ahead and answer some of them today. He's done a lot of the channel artwork, so when you see the channel art, just thank him for it. So, let's get started. What were some of the questions that you have for me?
Alright, so as a upcoming programmer, how would you start setting up the code for whatever you are coding?
Very, very good question. First thing I would keep in mind is entry point. Entry point's the key to any application. It's how, whenever I run this executable or whatever I'm running, where do I actually start the run? I can have all these methods, objects, those flare words, but I need to know where to start. So the first thing you need to start with is a folder structure. As you can see to the left, I have a source, main, Java, IO, GitHub, Technomancers, all of that. It's pretty deep, no pun intended. It's pretty deep in the file structure. But let's go over it. So you'll see all this other stuff that is there for my IDE, a little bit of other stuff to keep and maintain a Java application. But we have this source. This is the source code of what I'm actually going to be typing, what I can read. Then we have our main. So this is like our main application. We have Java. That's what type of application. This is a Java application. Something else you could put there is Groovy, but that's kind of another thing. We have IO, GitHub, and then Technomancers. Those last 3 folders are kind of arbitrary. They can be named whatever you want, and it's kind of the namespace of the application. A namespace is so other applications that are installed on a system don't step on each other's foot. They should be unique to that application. So, since this is a Hello World application, I need a unique one to Technomancers. A good rule of thumb is you reverse the domain of whatever you're working on. So, for example, our web page is on technomancers.github.io, so we reverse that and we go with io.github.technomancers, and that will be the root namespace of all of our applications. Now, inside of there, we may have a Hello World application, and that's exactly what we have here. We have a Hello World Java file, and this is where our entry point is going to be. So, the first line in a file will be package io.github, and you notice that my IDE is suggesting to me how to finish this off. It's notice that file structure. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Don't forget your semicolons. Semicolons are very important. That's how Java knows that there's a line ending there. So the next step is to actually create a class. Since this is object-oriented, we need to create a class for everything. Everything has a class, even for the entry point. Public class, hello world, open and close our curly braces. Don't worry about the public. That's a little bit, that's something else. But we are creating a class called Hello World. That class has to be named the same thing as our file called hello world.java without that file extension. And then to create the entry point, we're going to create a public static void main. And then we're going to create an args. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head, but I'm thinking it's like this. That doesn't look right. Sorry, I'm just coming from Golang, so I think this is actually how it is. Anyway, so we have a list of string, and we're going to name that string args. Something's not right. Public static void main. Right, so this is like our entry point, but we need to tell it that we are accepting a list of string named args. And that's what's... Alright, we're gonna cut here deep.
Alright.
Public class hello world. I feel like I'm no? Yeah, you can tell it's been a minute since I've done Java.
Yeah. Public.
Because it doesn't fuss about this, but it's whenever I do a public static void main class. There it is. Oh, okay, I had it backwards. So it's string and then the square braces. You see what I mean? It's just the small things. Always. Anyway, so I'm going to erase that now and pretend. Alright, so we do have the class, and we have to create another method called the main. This is how it knows where the entry point is. So we have a public static void. Then we need a list of string, and I'm going to name these args. The args mean whatever I'm passing through the commands line at the time. And to kind of go across that point, we're going to do system.out.println. And then we're going to print line hello world for now. I'll show you what the args do. But this right here, if I go ahead and build it, there it goes, it built, and I run it, it says hello world in the bottom right here, right? Now the args allow me to specify, like, add command line arguments to this thing. So I can say arg0. So let's just take the first arg and add it to it. Make sure it's plural. And then that way, whenever I run, or after I build it, because I got to rebuild every time I change something, and then I can say hello world, and then put deep at the end of it. So now it says hello world deep. So that is how you start off creating your very first application. Is there anything else you may want to know?
Okay. So I heard about these things called I think data types.
Okay.
How would you use those?
So a data type is very interesting in that every language has a base data type of some sort. Not a, but multitudes of base data types. We actually used one in the previous example, and that previous one is a string. So that is taking all the arguments from the command line and converting them to a string type object. A string for Java is a bunch of characters appended to each other. So you can have them as a list of characters. It's kind of what a string is. But your basic types, let's say we have a string, we have an int. Let's just, there we are, public int. Well, if I can type, there we are. Public int a. Alright, now we have another one called string b. String bean. Haha. Public. We also have booleans. Booleans are very interesting in that they're true or false. So an integer is an integer. You can only go from negative whatever 64 to the 2 to the 63rd, I think is what it is. 2 to the 63rd minus 1 is the lowest number, and the highest number if you add a negative to it. Then you have a string variable. Again, that's just a list of characters. A boolean value is either true or false. So yes or no, true or false. We also have, so we have an integer, string, boolean. We have a float. Float numbers are similar to integers except they're decimals. So 1.0 is an integer technically, but that 0.0 makes it a float. It's a floating point precision. Very nice whenever you're dealing with math numbers. Widely used, especially in robotics, to get as accurate as possible. Those are the main ones that I can think of. I'm pretty sure there's a few that I'm forgetting about. So we got an integer, string, boolean, floats. I think there's a yep, there's a character right there. That is a single character. And the reason we give them these types is because if I try to set A to a string of hello world, it's going to fail out. Because it says cannot make static. Well, that's a completely different reason. Let me go ahead and make all these static real quick. And all that red. There we are. So the type mismatch cannot convert string to an integer. Alright, so I can't turn A into a string, but if I tell it to turn into an integer, like a 1, it's fine with that. We also have B, which actually does accept a string, so apparently we're Australian. Hello, mate! But if I try to turn this into an integer, it's going to fail out, so it's type asserting. It's making sure that whatever I pass in there is of correct value. There's true there, because it's a boolean. A float, as I said, with a float, I think you can pass in 1 and be fine, but you can also pass in 1, 0. Oh, that was A. That needs to be D. And this needs to be hello. Oh, okay, so float's 1, but a double is another one. There we are. So G is an actual decimal, right? Now, a float is for a floating point precision. To me, they're the same thing, but apparently not. Is there any questions you have about them so far, Deep?
So you're storing these as letters. So what are all of these letters?
These letters themselves are the actual variables. You'll notice that E right now, even though I have it set to a character, I can't set it with the double quotes because it still thinks it's a string of characters. Whereas if I do single quotes, it notices, hey, this is H as a single character.
Okay.
But since I set all these variables up here, I can later on down the road, like let's say in Hello World, I can add A to it, right? So if I build it real quick and run it, you'll see Hello World 1. If I do, let's do G, because that's a double precision, right? With a double, you should see 1.0. Even though I only specified 1, Java recognizes it as a double and puts that 0.0 at the end of it for us. This allows us to manipulate variables and not have to specify hello world here. So a good example would be, just for this example, string message. We're going to call this the MSG for message. And then we're going to set message equal to hello world here. Well, if I can type today. Also, this bothers me that it's not lined up everywhere. And then I could type in MSG here. And you'll notice I'll get the same outcome of hello world just because it's using that variable type. Even though I didn't specify hello world in that print line, it resolves itself to whatever that variable is.
Okay.
Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yes, it makes a lot more sense.
Alright.
And also, I've been doing a little bit of personal research. I've come across these things called modifiers. So could you elaborate on that?
Modifiers. We've been using them all along, and that's actually where that static comes from. That static was one of those modifiers that threw everything off for me, and that's why I had to go back through and finish them. That's one modifier. There's 3 other ones. Public, which you see here. Public class, public static. You'll also see private and protected. So to really get a use of what a modifier is, I'm going to create another class. And to create another class, I must create another file. So let's call this one the world. So we're going to have to create a package for this one again. It's going to be the same package, even though there can be multiple files in the same package. This is going to have to be a public class, the world, and we're gonna put stuff in here, right? And this is gonna be our entry point, so let's clear that out. So let's go over what a few things are. We have a private, let's create a private variable called the sun, or a private. What should this private variable be? Private int diameter. The diameter of the world. I don't know. We have to create what's called a constructor, which I did not talk about actually, which probably should be covered. We'll probably cover that in a different episode. But this allows me to set this dot diameter equals to, let's just say 100 for now. It's an integer. So, public, and then we're going to create another method called get diameter. I'm just going to return an int and return diameter. So what this is doing is it's creating a private variable called diameter, meaning nothing else can touch it. No other class can touch this. And then whenever we create a new instance of this object, if you go back to the object-oriented basics, you'll see where I was talking about creating an instance of an object. Well, here's the constructor for it right here. And we're saying this constructor, whenever we construct a new object of the world, we need to set the diameter to 100, just by default. And then anyone, since it's a public here, anyone can see this get diameter method. Alright? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a new instance of the world. So I'm going to do the world equals new the world. And that's what creates a new instance of the world for me. That new character and then the world. This right here calls a constructor. If I go into it, you'll notice that it takes me to that constructor method I was talking about. This is what's actually called when I say new. Okay. So I'm creating a new instance of it. And then if I try to call world.diameter, it doesn't know about it. Diameter. You'll notice it has no clue what this is. Insert variable declarators to complete local variable declarator. I don't know what that means, but it can't see it. You'll notice I can copy this all I want and try to paste it over here, and you'll notice it has no clue what diameter is. But the reason I created a public method called getDiameter is so that I can get the diameter of the world. So I can do system.out.println and then print out the diameter of the world. And after I build it and run it, you'll notice it says 100, which is perfect. That's exactly what we're expecting. So that kind of goes through what private and public are. The static means that it's not part of the object, it's part of every single object that is of that type. It's a little bit more, let's see. Oh, here's one. We're gonna create a public static boolean is round. That's a boolean value. And public static, I'm actually going to do public final static is round equals true. The final is like a constant value or variable. Constant meaning it cannot change. If I try to change it down here, it's going to throw an error at me. Equals false. You'll notice it says, hey, you can't do this. You've already assigned it as final. So that's what the final property is. As for a static, this is round. You'll notice I can't call world.isRound. I shouldn't be able to, but apparently, yep, there we are. That's not the proper error, but what it's saying is, hey, you're trying to call a static method outside of a static context, because this is an instance of world, but if the world dot is round, it won't throw an error. Well, it still throws an error because I'm not actually setting it to anything. There we are. So the world is round is set to A. But then if I try to change this back to world, you'll notice how the static field should be accessed in a static way. Even though I can still access it, I'm doing it wrong because I'm using a instance of world instead of actually calling the world class, which is, it shows what every world has in common to it. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Is there something I may be able to clarify?
For now, I think I'm fine.
Alright, I want to cover protected real quick. Let's see how fast I can get over protected. Right. So, to do a protected one, we can call protected method... Actually, let's change this get diameter to protected. Let's just make it simple. Alright, I'm going to call this to protected. Now what you'll notice is if I save this file again, it should not be able to get the diameter, but it is. Oh, it's because it's in the same package. That's why. If you're ever extending from a package or extending from a class, a protected class is only allowed for any class that's extended from it to actually use that method. And that's what's throwing me off. So we're gonna cut that last bit out. Because apparently I don't know what protected is. Anyway, so we're gonna cut this out. Now we're gonna go to the final clip of us saying bye. So, all right. So I think that covers about. Well, now hold up. Let's change that back to public. So, all right. So I think that covers about everything. Deep and I will see you next time. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Oh, that was rough.
Yeah, the ending was a little bit.
I thought we were some
Yeah.
big.
That also felt really long.
Yeah. Like,
Did it?
Wi-Fi felt a little long.
That's
That
fine.
Felt pretty long.
Yeah, we like zoomed through the first two, but then like modifiers was a bit long to make up for it.
Yep. But I'm trying to figure out why didn't protected work? Shouldn't have protected not like I shouldn't be able to get to this. It's protected. Right? Am I
Yes,
thinking of that right?
Protected variables, methods, and constructors can only be accessed by the subclasses in other package or any class within the package.
That's what it is.
Yep, that's fine. Alright.
Alright, because it's any package within that package, which technically it is. And that's what was throwing me off. Alright. So, that was stupid. Like, I knew what it was, I just, apparently it didn't work out. That one's gonna be rough to stitch together. But it will get done. I think that one's going to hit about 30 minutes, unfortunately. I try not to, but it's probably going to hit 30 minutes. Do I need a basic template for the next one? What is the
you
next
mean,
one about?
You know,
That was Java Basics 1. Do you want to go into Java Basics 2?
I don't mind, but what is that one about?
Java Basics 2 is apparently so an introduction and then operators, if-else statements, and input-output stuff.
What do you mean by input-output, by the way?
I have no idea. Deep?
yeah, I think it's like calling variables, but you know it's.
Oh,
over to the
I mean, well, I think that can be pushed back, because if you're talking if-else, then you could also talk about for loops and while loops.
Oh yeah, and then we're all talking about JavaScript yesterday, so I said we could like replace one of these with that.
Maybe replace
That's
robot
fine. Well, no, I think the robot should be covered.
today.
I
Okay.
think we should just replace Java Basics 2 for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
That way we can possibly get feedback from the second video, right?
Mhm.
Do I need to turn on the light, by the way? Because I know it's kind of getting dark.
Hold on.
I think it's fine because like your computer screen's pretty bright.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn on my light though. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Just to make a note though, because we just finished the Java Basics 1, taking note of things that you missed that you said that you wanted to cover. So constructors.
Did we go over that?
Did you?
I breezed over that one.
Okay.
I did kind of. It wasn't in the class, but I did breeze over it.
Okay.
I did mention that this was calling this, so it was it was a breeze. It wasn't like this is what a constructor is. That
Do you
makes
want to
sense.
talk more about it or just leave it at that?
Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Wait, when did you join back?
Hmm?
When did you join the stream? Like when did you come back?
No, I came back while you guys. I don't even know, dude.
Screwed up.
I came back before the screw up. I think. I don't actually know when I get back. What?
There we are. I didn't want to be that typical programmer that lived in the dark.
That's me.
All right. So we got Java basics down. Again, it was rough. Very rough.
Should we invite Cameron?
No. Yeah, we can. It was rough, but you got to think if we ever run out of things to talk about, we can always redo videos to make them better and improved on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But let's just push out content and then worry about cleaning it up later.
Sounds good to me.
Especially some clearing up with around that protected. Like, that threw me off.
It's okay.
I was like, oh. And then also, I think I was trying to figure out what the arguments were about, and that threw me off as well. So,
Yeah, I don't like how they call it arguments. I prefer it's like as parameters, but Java is what it is.
yep. Is Cameron in, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I
hey.
am. Deep
Whoa.
sent me a link through
Hello,
Slack.
Cameron.
All
You
right.
guys did it
So,
perfect. My computer had some problems, then I had to get it back up.
Oh.
man, I don't have an option to kick people.
You want me to get out?
No. It was a joke.
Oh yeah.
I think I've done Hangouts before, and there's an option you could throw them out the group, and that kicks them. They get thrown out the group.
Anyway, Cameron, so the general idea is that this Hangouts is used for like, if we have like a guest speaker, if you're the guest speaker, you can look at the screen from here, because otherwise you'd be watching the stream and you'd be seeing like 30-second delayed version, so it's hard to follow along. But then as guest speakers, so we have like these sort of outlines that we're trying to like follow. So what happens is Will does his little introduction, introducing the guest speaker, and then the guest speaker says like hi or whatever.
Hello, my name is Cameron Carson. I'm a student that is in robotics.
Yeah, like you can do that.
That is too formal, though.
That's what Atosh did, but it doesn't matter.
It's whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with.
You can do whatever you want as long as it's appropriate. And then as a guest speaker, basically you would like follow this outline and ask Will questions about like, oh, okay, so what we did just is like, what, like, how does like Java like work or whatever. Deep did a pretty good job about it. And then after he would like finish explaining a topic or like start moving towards a transition, Will would like try to leave a little bit of blank space there so that you can like ask another question, or he would prompt you to like keep moving forward. And then basically follow that path until the video is over.
Okay.
Do you see the outline on Slack?
It's somewhere there. We pinned it.
Yeah, it's pinned.
So what are we gonna cover in JavaScript?
JavaScript?
Yes.
So I think that's what we're covering instead of Java Basics 2.
We didn't make a thing for it, no.
Yeah,
Oh.
after I made the outline too, so yeah.
We can cover, what was that third one?
Robot?
Yeah, robot.
We can cover that one real quick. Zach, you want to join in on that one since you kind of know a little bit more about that one?
Sure.
And then that gives Deep enough time to come out with an outline for Cameron to go over for JavaScript. How's that sound?
Alright, Deep, clutch it out, boy.
Alright.
You guys want me to mute myself?
Yeah, just mute yourself.
Which also gives me enough time to install a few packages for JavaScript, because
What do you,
I
what do you
don't-
think I should like put an outline for JavaScript?
that's, why don't you and,
You and Cameron just hop into the Discord and then just talk about it, probably.
yeah, that'd be easy. That way you two know you cover everything. Try to keep it under 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm shooting for 15 to 20, but if it makes it 30, I'm not horrible. After 30 is, like, this video needs to be redone.
Alright.
So,
Alright, so let's hop on this quick. So should I like get out of the Hangouts or should I just mute it?
whatever your internet can handle.
Yeah, just for now, just like mute yourself.
Yeah, I'll try to.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about the Robo Rio encoders. Okay, so basically, basic programmer stuff for on the robot.
All right, you already went to that pinned
Yeah,
task, right?
no, I see it right now.
So Robo Rio encoders, wheels, stuff like that.
So basically, like the robot from a programmer's perspective.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
I don't know how much should we assume that they have.
What do you mean?
Check out. I think I turned everything into master, didn't I?
Oh, there. Should be.
Yeah, there was a lot of changes that I had locally that weren't there.
Oh, what the heck? What did you do?
But
What did you add in?
oh no, I don't normally. When it was coming to robot code, I never actually did anything with it on my computer at home. It was all on my
Okay.
laptop.
Gotcha. So you're just pulling. Oh, okay, I thought you were pushing. I was like, what?
No.
Okay.
Where do you want to start, like file wise?
Probably.
Just the robot.java, the iteration robot.
robot.java. And then,
Should we?
so what's gonna happen is before we even get into the code, I'll probably ask I'll ask the question about the RoboRio. Like, how does the robot actually how does code actually function on the robot?
Where's the
Like where's the computer on the robot basically?
I think it should be the main. What did I call it in the previous video? Called it something. Entry point.
Okay.
Because I went over the main dot execute
Okay.
or the
So I'll
public
probably just
static
ask,
void main.
I'll probably just ask. You were talking about entry points in an earlier video. So where exactly is the entry point for code onto the robot?
That may be a good place to start.
Yeah. And then from there, we can if you talk about RoboRio, then I can say okay, so what are some key things that the robot has to communicate with when functioning primarily with code? And you can talk about encoders or drivetrain or anything. And
A subsystem, and I'll use drivetrain because everyone has a drivetrain.
and I'll try to pick up what you throw down.
Okay.
Hold on,
You want to keep up on time?
hold on, let me close this door. Sure, I can.
Hey, a quick thing. How does Cameron He said he's not ranked enough to talk
So
in
as far as
Discord.
time goes, do you want me to just be once we hit 20, if we're hitting...
Hold on, Deep had a question.
Okay.
What was that, Deep?
Karen said he wasn't ranked enough in the Discord to talk to be able to voice chat.
Oh, yeah, that was my bad.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that the Doctor Who. Why the 15th?
Wait, which one was
Why
the
the
15th?
15th?
Was
Oh
the
yeah,
15th
as well. So
my favorite? Wait, Will, which one's your favorite Doctor?
Oh, David Tennant.
Same.
The 15th
I just
isn't
switched
one
over
yet.
to the one after him. Yeah, I also had a Facebook post yesterday. I watched the episode where River Song realized that this was her last time seeing the Doctor, because you know how their timelines are completely backwards.
Right.
So,
Oh. Alright, so, Will, as far as timing itself goes, if we probably hit 20 minutes and we're still, in full stride, I'll probably just be what do you want me to say? If you ever reach...
all right, if we're in full stride at about 20-25 minutes, see if we can cut it off. And we can, if you still have more questions, we can pick up a second video.
Yeah, right.
If we needed to.
Right. I'm just how do you want me to cut in?
I don't know if you
Wait.
should cut in.
Yeah, do you
That's
want
the
to wait
thing.
until you finish that thought and then just stop it there?
Yeah, if I ever say that's me thinking, and then that's where you can cut in.
Okay.
Right? Does
So
that make sense?
I'll just be so Will, it looks like we're getting a little bit short on time, but I'd
Perfect.
I have a few more questions if you'd if we could do a second video,
Perfect.
something like that.
Also, I know I talk really fast and a lot. I have an issue with that.
No problem.
But interrupt.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like a school teacher.
Oh,
Interrupt me.
Okay.
Yeah. Interrupt me.
All right. And then
Just
also,
say, hey, I have this question.
Also,
Please answer it.
Freaking Will, just try to take a little bit more breaks and stuff. And Atosh is back.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
Yep. That fan. Oh yes.
Oh, mine's not going. But then you would have this flickering effect because you'd see the shadow or something.
God. It's like, hey Will, what's wrong with your face? All right.
Yeah.
So, just let me know when you want to start, and then I'll start the timer.
So I'm wondering, should I worry about Gradle at all? I mean, the last one I didn't really cover Gradle. I just
For
built
right
it
now,
and
I
ran
don't
it.
think so, because what you can do is you can do a separate video all on Gradle, or like with primary topic of Gradle, and then you can draw it back to these topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think for right now,
Alright.
don't even worry about Gradle.
Okay.
Ready?
Not yet.
Just whenever.
Alright, just to let everyone know, we're about to start recording, so please stay muted.
I had to turn my phone off for this. Just in case.
Alright. You ready?
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube! This is Will with Technomancers. I'm one of the mentors for Team 1758 of First Robotics. I'm also here with...
Hi everyone, my name is Zach, and I'm a programmer for FRC Team 1758.
If you couldn't quite hear that, he went out slightly for me. His name is Zach. He is a programmer, one of the head programmers. He was here last week with us. What are we going to cover today, Zach?
So I had a few questions, but my main question is, in a previous video, you were talking about entry points for code, and so when...
Can I stop you there real quick? We're going to restart.
Okay.
You keep cutting out. Like, your
Really?
audio just keeps... it. Like, I say cutting out. You get really quiet, and then it comes back to normal volume.
I have no idea what it could be.
Oh, yeah, I hear it.
Hmm.
Alright, I'll be back after we eat.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what it could be. Huh.
What,
Hold on, let me change this real fast.
yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be better? Blah blah
I-
blah 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 blah.
Sounds fine now. I don't know what you changed.
Whatever. We'll see how it goes. Oh god, I'm hearing reverb. Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Let me make sure that I clear this out. Transition back over. And start over.
Yep.
Hey YouTube, this is Will with Technomancers on Team 1758 for First Robotics. I'm also here with...
Hey everybody, my name is Zach, and I'm a senior programming captain for FRC Team 1758.
It's still bad, Zach.
Yeah.
I think it's when you start yelling.
Oh, okay. Maybe my mic sensitivity.
Because if you keep it really quiet, it seems to be fine. It's
Okay.
whenever you start, when you actually speak up, like when I speak up,
Alright.
seems to be doing the same thing.
Okay. So I'm gonna move the mic further away from my face, see how that goes. Ay. God dang, dude.
Because it sounds fine now. It's just, it seems like when I hit that record button, it's just like, nope.
Dude, I'm like the robot, I'm camera shy.
All right,
Alright. Just take 3.
take 3.
Let's go.
Hey YouTube, this is Will. I'm here as a mentor for Technomancers on Team 1758 for First Robotics. I'm also here with...
Hey everybody, my name's Zach. I'm the senior programming captain for FRC Team 1758.
Yeah, and he's one of the lead programmers. He's helped us out a lot. He's helped out a lot with this code that we're about to view through today. Talking about this code, what are we viewing through today, Zach?
So, today we're going to be covering the robot code that we are actually working with for the 2017 Steamworks season. So, Will, I actually had a few different questions about the robot code. In a previous video, you were talking about entry points into systems and stuff. So, with the robot that we work with, specifically, where is the first entry point for code?
Entry points. So you'll notice whenever we go through it in the robot code, we have an iterative robots. This is the kind of the main robot that most people use, and there is no main method. So it doesn't show you exactly where everything starts. The best place to show you where exactly things start is just to go through the life cycle of the Robo Rio. whenever you connect to it to the driver station, and how everything it plays in. When you first connect to the driver station, it actually goes through this robot init, and this initializes the robot. This sets all what we have is debuggers. We have an operator, which is our controllers, command base. We go through a select list to figure out what our autonomous modes are, vision, drivetrain, and then updating the smart dashboard, and then actually toggling stuff back and forth. This is the first thing that gets called, not enabling the robot, but actually when the robot connects to that driver station and it's ready to start, this is the first thing that gets called. So this is kind of your entry point. But there's multiple entry, let's make my hands right, entry point for the videos, or for the robot. We also have this robot periodic. This gets called every time any periodic event's called. So we're just updating the smart dashboard every time we need to go through a loop. And that's the update smart dashboard. It's just updating a few values. Then we have this autonomous init. So when you click that autonomous part, right, and you hit like enable for autonomous, this gets called first. So it first tries to, what we have here is get the selected value from our select list and run that autonomous command. And what that does is then after it calls that once, it calls our autonomous periodic and goes through that. And then that's end of autonomous, and then that's when you go through your teleop, right? Well, same thing. We go through teleop init. Teleop init, we disable autonomous command and start using the controllers, turn on lights, turn off lights, all that fun stuff. And then after it calls that teleop init once, it loops through and does this teleop periodic. Does that kind of make sense, Zach? How there's not really just one entry point, there's multitudes of it?
Yeah, no, I'm getting it. So you were earlier talking about the Robo Rio. You mentioned it briefly. So I take it that the Robo Rio is kind of like the main computer, the brains of the robot itself?
Correct. The Robo Rio is where everything is connected to. You have your encoders, you have your motors, you have sensors, some people, and hopefully we will, have a Raspberry Pi connected up to it, cameras. It is the brains of the robot. It is what drives everything, it's what controls everything, and that's what actually this code runs on.
Okay, you mentioned encoders and motors, so could you actually talk more about how the Robo Rio interacts with encoders and what it might actually be looking for or doing?
Yeah, so again, we're trying to go over motors. We need to figure out how the code knows exactly what motors to go through. So we broke our code down into a command-based type robot. And so robots, you give it a command and it does something, makes sense. But we also broke it down by subsystems. A subsystem would be, let's say we have a drivetrain for a subsystem. As of 2017 Steamworks, you would have a PEG subsystem or a gear subsystem, something that was controlling the gear. Maybe ball pickups would be one, then you have a ball shooter, stuff like that. Subsystems are modular things. They don't depend on other parts of the robot. So a very famous one is drivetrain. Every robot has to drive. So I'm going to take a look at our drivetrain subsystem right here. And you'll notice that we have what we have our CAN Talon. So we had our Talon motors. These are our speed controllers for our motors for our robot. And we have the right front, right back, left front, left back. And we also have this drivetrain, the TM drive. We also have a gyroscope, a sonic sensor. The logger is for debugging purposes. That's something completely different. And a counter that is used, it looks like nowhere. Oh, there it is. A counter that is used to figure out if we're done moving a certain distance. So one thing we did is go into constructors. We have to construct an instance of drivetrain, for example. When we do this, what we do is you'll notice how we set up in robot map, which is just, it is a static file. Robot map right here. It is a static file, a robot map, bunch of static methods that just point to a bunch of ports on the Robo-Rio, the different things you plug things into. How our drivetrain's set up is to look at those ports. And we tell it, hey, here's a Cantalon, and I want you to point to this port and set up a new this is a Cantalon on this port. And so now anytime I call right front motor, or right back motor, left front motor, left back motor, this is the Talon you're communicating with. Then using those motors, we set up a new drive train with that drive system using the FRC library, and we create a TM drive. Right here we needed to make sure we inverted a couple motors because we might have wired them differently. And that way now when we wanted to, we can tell it to, hey, here's a mechanism drive. Let's move it this way to whenever this happens type thing. Is that kind of what you were asking about how ports work, or?
Yeah. No, you explained like how the Robo-Rio talks to motors pretty well. But now I'm seeing, so you talked about mechanism drive, but I'm seeing tank drive on the screen as well. So what like different kinds of drive systems are there? Could you elaborate on a few of those?
Alright, so mechanism drive is a drive system that lets you go forward, back, lets you turn left, turn right. But what's special about mechanism is it also allows you to slide in the lateral direction. So I could go forward, back, I could turn left, turn right, and then I can also slide left or slide right, even though the camera probably views it differently. But you get the gist. The robot stays oriented in one direction, but also kind of crabs in a certain direction. That is mechanism, and it requires certain wheels. And it depends on the rotation of those wheels, whether they're going forward, back, some of them going forward, some of them going back, stuff like that. And this drive system handles that for you. You also have tank drive. This one right here. This is your simple one where all your wheels can't actually slide. They're static on the ground. And those can only go forward, back, turn left, and turn right. That's all that one can do. It cannot slide because your wheels can't allow it to slip and can't go in opposite directions. And you could think of a tank drive as an actual tank. So, yeah.
Okay. So with the drive systems, where exactly do encoders come in? Because while you were scrolling up and down, I actually saw a few different mentions of encoders and their configurations.
Alright, so you'll see right here, you talk about configure encoders, and then there's this encoder codes per revolution that tells this code, hey, every time I hit, for one revolution, I have this many pulses going through, so it knows how a full rotation of your wheels are. And then you can turn that, hey, I did one rotation, into, hey, since my diameter of my wheel is 6 pi is whatever, right? That's how far I've gone. Where is it? Calibrate. That's calibrate gyro, get ultrasonic. Let me see where it is. There it is, configure encoders. So, what I'm doing is each of our gearboxes actually have an encoder in them to figure out, hey, how far has this wheel gone? Or how many rotations or partial rotations has this gone? And what I'm doing is I'm going through and just saying on the left front motor, to configure encoder codes per revolution to be this number. So yeah, that's the basics of it. We can also reset our encoder positions to make sure that they are positioned correctly. Meaning, hey, I haven't gone a full rotation, or I'm starting a new command, so I need to make sure that I restart from 0 and not some number elsewhere.
Okay, so with encoders, you were saying that they can actually record like a certain number of revolutions, basically. So with encoders, then you can actually get the robot to move on its own, and stop at a certain distance, yeah?
Yes, with certain wheels. Let's put it that way. This year we had trouble, as you know, but to YouTube land, we were having trouble because the mechanism wheels actually slide. So even though the encoder went a full rotation, the robot might not have gone that full rotation because the wheels would slip.
Okay.
But it works great with the static wheel. So in a tank drive type system, you would have the wheel actually do a full rotation, which then you could say, hey, I want to go this far. And hold on one second, I'm cutting the video here.
Whew.
All right,
What was going on?
I'm back.
What was going on?
Did you not hear that?
Oh, I heard it. I didn't know what it was.
All right.
What was it?
How far back was it, Atosh?
That it first started.
Because I'm considering I'm just redoing the whole video.
Oh, really? No, I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
that far back. Hi, Tosh. So how far back was it, dude? Like, how far back did it start? What are you doing right now?
He's eating?
Oh, you're eating? You cannot talk? Is this a game of charades?
1, 2 words, 5 words, 20 words.
17, 58. Technomancers. Alright, no, but for real, like, I didn't know what was happening. I thought it was something in, like, my headphones.
No,
Like,
it wasn't.
am
I wasn't sure if it was that loud. So,
No, I was just like, am I in a, what? Hello? Am I in a Friday the 13th movie? Wait, was it Abby?
it's fine. Yeah, it was.
Oh. Abby, okay, so are we restarting?
I
Or-
just deleted the video, so yeah.
Alright, yeah, we're restarting then. Okay. Do you mind
Is there
me,
something
like,
that... Uh-huh.
Do you mind me, like, putting you on the spot with, like, these questions or whatever, or...
No. I mean, that works.
Yeah.
I can...
Alright.
That's fine. Just again, keep an eye on time. Make sure we cover everything you want to cover.
I am. We were at 11.5 minutes. Right there.
Alright.
So I was probably gonna ask about, like, another subsystem, and then, like, we would have, like, cut there, probably.
Alright. I don't know if you wanted to cover vision or something, but...
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, like,
breeze
Jin,
over
because the other ones are pretty simple. Hold on. Cameron got disconnected, so before we start, I'm just told him he can get back in.
Okay.
Oh, I have to accept my college housing offer. No, I keep forgetting to do it. I'm gonna do it now.
There's Cameron.
Hello, Cameron.
While you guys were doing that video, I took the book I had on JavaScript and I looked at the very beginning of it and tried to find good questions from it.
Okay.
Alright. Just put me on the spot before the video because, as with Java, I'm rough with JavaScript. My job is in C#. So,
C#.
yeah, that's what my job's in. But I also know JavaScript. It's just I have to refresh my head into it. Does that make sense?
The first question is very close to when Atosh was teaching us on the one day, about like 2 weeks ago, he taught us of the 4 like steps. Declaring, initializing,
You guys
using,
hear
and
me now?
renewing.
Yes, Atosh, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Declaring, initializing, using, and then changing, I think it is, or something like that.
Okay.
Is
Oh,
that
Atosh
it?
Yeah, I
Just
wasn't
saying.
there for that one, but that makes sense. But yeah, we can go through that. Like, I guess you're talking about just variables in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they work.
See, Atosh, you are a good teacher.
Yep. You have to make things up.
Oh, wrong audio. Listen to the wrong.
The first 3
I
work.
want renter's
and-
insurance.
The other question is, I've already figured this out, but how do you link it to an HTML file? Would probably be extremely important.
Like script, href, and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly.
Alright, yeah, I can do that.
Then
I was
could
gonna
go
use
over
JS.
if else statements.
Can't unmute Hangouts. I'm listening to my
With
past.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I couldn't mute Hangouts either.
Oh, you mean mute us from Hangouts?
Yeah.
Yep,
What
that
you
could be an
can
issue.
do is
He's already left.
That's
Atosh noped out. Or no, never mind.
There he is.
bad.
Now he's back.
I have my own
Oh,
audio.
okay. But anyway, so Will.
Oh, you guys
Atosh-
got, you guys got
Yeah.
extremely complicated in that jargon.
But I mean, I feel like with
You're talking about the robot stuff?
Like you're like, yeah, you just have to you have to implement this constructor of the with this static constructor. This is a static class. I'm like, they won't know what that means.
but also.
Are you talking about Java Basics, or are you talking about the robot?
Well, no, when you started like saying like constructor stuff, I'm talking about like the Java basics. I feel
Oh,
like
in
In
Java
Java
Basics.
Basics.
like the
In Java Basics, okay.
kind of like getting. You get wait.
Yeah, we did get a little bit complicated there, but we can always go back and clarify on
Redo
things.
it.
When you went to robot mapping, you're just like, oh yeah, this is just a static class, and you moved up. I'm like, what they want?
Oh,
Oh, so this was the robot,
robot.
stuff.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not trying to teach
you
him
talking-
Java.
Are you talking robot or
Like,
Java
I'm
Basics?
saying he's called it like a stat. You just said it was a static class. I'm like, they won't know what that means. They won't know.
What?
They
And
won't know
technically, that
this is-
wasn't a static class.
No, but this is the robot video. So
I
like,
guess
this
so,
is
I'm
kind
just
of
saying-
like
I
this is
guess
kind of
so.
like a later on video. This is like the
I know
Java
the
Basics
vocab.
videos are like the entry point videos, and then like this is.
I'm saying like the vocab you guys were using was kind of.
Well, all right.
Simplify vocab.
We'll make it into ELI 5, dude.
Don't like.
So
use static.
teach it
Don't-
to
assume that
my.
they
So
don't
teach it
really-
to a kindergarten person.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
All right.
I like to
I-
Ooh.
I mean, I'll try. But when you start talking about robot code, it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah,
so.
right. It's not gonna be like, whoa, this is what tracks wheel movement. There. What?
Yep.
All
All right, but we do have to redo that video just because.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cameron, if you want to go over other stuff, I feel like variable declaration and all that in JavaScript's fine, but I think that's going to go by pretty fast.
Yeah.
Also, look into JS Fiddle.
Data.
That's
spill?
actually no JS Fiddle. FIDDLE. That is what I was going to use. So I don't know if there's such thing as a insert script here, like script tag for HTML.
Wait, what is JS?
I mean, I can go over it,
What?
but you guys never heard of JS Fiddle?
Nah, man. The
Not
only
at all.
like I don't really work with JavaScript. Will like the JavaScript things that I know of are like Ajax, which I learned for like web design and stuff.
Why'd you learn Francis?
Wait.
You said Ajax.
Oh, Francis. Deadpool. Yeah.
Alright.
But Ajax is like a web framework thing.
No, it's
I mean,
not.
JavaScript
Ajax
is-
is not a web framework.
Oh no.
Ajax is
Like,
JavaScript.
back end? There's a front end? No, it's back end. Is it communication between back end and front end?
Ajax calls is communication between backend and front end,
Okay. See,
but
it's
it
been
is
a while.
but it is not a framework.
Okay, sorry. It's been a while. That's all
Yeah.
I can say. Wait, yeah. I have to start using JavaScript for the website, which I will work on after exams are over.
Mostly over
Right.
the past 5 weeks that I've had any understanding of HTML, I have been using Notepad++, but I've been
Yes.
slowly at home been using Visual Studio Code.
Good. Get used
more
to
and
it.
more.
Get used to it, because that's what we use for robotics.
The
Yeah,
filing system
Visual
works it really well. It's extremely efficient.
Oop.
I don't have to. The filing system in
Oh,
Visual
yeah.
Studio is
Oh,
really
yeah.
efficient.
Very much so.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
and
when
it's
they're
not
doing
e-
the website.
And it's technically not an IDE, so it's like stupid
Hey,
fast.
Alright, Deep, so we're redoing the video because Abby is sick.
What?
What?
We're redoing the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna redo that one video.
Wait, which one? The one you did?
Drivetrain.
Yeah, the one that we just did, that now we have to redo.
Do you want to go over commands, baby? So after subsystem, go over a command instead.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So instead of moving on to another subsystem, probably move on to commands.
Yeah,
When you were talking about iterative robot, I was gonna ask like what other kinds of robots are there, but then you would have been like command based, and then we would have detracted from. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know what other robot. There's iterative robot, and that's about it. That's all I really know.
Okay.
So please don't ask that one.
So will.
There's
No.
command, there's command,
there's
iterative,
command-based.
and it was chronic.
I didn't
Alright.
even know about that one.
Well, technically, we're
Custom.
using an iterative robot, even though we're using
Technical.
command-based. Yeah, even though we're using a command-based type system,
Yeah.
you still use an iterative robot.
Right.
Command base is better. I mean, iterative is better.
It is.
I like iterative.
No, I'm not arguing with that.
We've been using iterative for years, so
It's so much
nice.
simpler. I feel like.
it's nice.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Mute yourself.
So
Okay, I'll be trying to.
everyone
understand the
mute.
Deep.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Mute yourself, buddy.
Okay, my bad.
Hey, Tosh. Yeah.
Zach.
You right.
No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's
let me
see
know
if we
when.
can start over with this one and do it this time decently, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Garbage.
All right. Hello, YouTube. I'm Will. I'm one of the mentors for Technomancers, Team 1758 for First Robotics. I'm here with.
Hey guys, my name's Zach. I'm the senior programming captain for FRC Team 1758.
Yep, and he's done a great job with it. What we were gonna do today?
So today we're going to be covering the robot code for our season this year, 2017.
And I guess as you see on the screen, it's going to be that. So what was the first thing you wanted to cover about the code?
So in a previous video, you were talking about entry points. So I was wondering specifically where might be the entry point for robot code.
Alright, so with the previous tutorial, with the entry point, we only had that main method inside of the class. That was our entry point. Inside of iterative robots for robotics, which is the main one that everyone uses, there are others, but don't quote me on them as I don't know them. There are quite a few steps, should I say, in the execution of the code. The first of which is actually initializing the robot, and that's what this first method is, the public init. This is what actually gets called once whenever code is executed. So you connect to the driver station, this gets called once, this stands up everything, we create a new controllers, set up our commands, get our get encoders, calibrating stuff, all that fun mess set here. Then we have what's called a periodic step, which is what actually loops through and actually does things. What we're doing is, no matter which periodic we're in, we're updating a smart dashboard so that we can get values out of it. This is the smart dashboard command that we're actually using to update our values. Autonomous init is called once whenever you enable autonomous. Not when you click autonomous, but when you actually enable it, it gets called once, and then it goes through and calls the autonomous periodic, which gets called multiple times within autonomous for 15 seconds. Then we have the teleop init, which gets called once when teleop is enabled, and then it goes through the teleop periodic and calls that multiple times throughout teleop. And that's why there's multiple entry points. It depends on the stage in which the robot is in to actually which part of the code is actually executed.
Okay. So as far as how code actually interacts with the robot, where would be considered like the main computer brains of the robot?
Alright, so physically in the real world, the brains of the robot is the Robo Rio. This is what actually connects all the motors, the drive, the speed controllers, your encoders, your cameras, your sensors, all of that is controlled by the Robo Rio. You could have an Arduino controlling your sensors and a Raspberry Pi controlling the sensors, but ideally everything in itself is controlled by the Robo-Rio in some shape or form, whether it's reading from sensors or moving motors. Inside the code, we can kind of see the same thing, because our code has to call the encoders or call the motors to actually move a certain speed at a certain time, depending on certain conditions. So, the Robo-Rio, I would say, is the brains of the computer. Or brains of the robot.
Okay, thanks. So you were talking about how in the code we actually have to call encoders and motors. Could you elaborate more on how the code actually interacts with those things?
Yes, so one of the first places I would go to is a robot map. This is what maps everything, so the different ports, right? We have a right front motor, right back motor, left front motor, left back motor. These are all of the different ports that the Robo-Rio sees these speed controllers as. These speed controllers we're using are Talons in a CAN bus system. Also note, I'm going to go to the part of the code that has encoders codes per revolution. Notice how that's a pretty high number. I'll cover that in a second. But where this is actually called and used is within drivetrain itself. You can think of it as a subsystem. A subsystem is a part of the robot that is completely separate from the rest of the robot. For example, this year as 2017 SeamWorks, you would have a part of the robot that did the gear, the unloading, reloading of the gear. You would have a subsystem to deal with, let's say, just the cameras. Or we would have a part of this subsystem, or another subsystem that had to deal with picking up balls. And a separate one to do throwing of balls, because that's two different actions, so I would keep those separately personally. But depending on your robot, they may be the same thing. But let's stick with drivetrain, because every robot has a drive system of some sort. So let's go over the motors. We have, you can see in the top 4 places, we have our different CAN Talons, which are our speed controllers in a CAN bus situation. And we're not initializing, but creating an instance of those variables first. Then we go through the constructor, where actually the drivetrain is created, and we set the motors up using that robot map values, those port numbers. So we say, hey, I want a new CAN Talon on this port, and save it to this variable. We then use those motors to set up a drivetrain. The TM, I assume, is Technomancers drive. Probably could mean something else, but that's what I think of it whenever it's called TM drive. Then we use that TM drive, which actually is the brains of everything. That's the actual thing that's controlling the motors, whether this motor should go forward, this motor should go back, or whether these two motors should go in opposite directions, stuff like that. That is the brains of it. But then we kind of overlay on top of it, and we create a mechanism drive Cartesian, which is what tells a robot to, in certain situations, to do certain things. Kind of broad, but a mechanism drive moves forward, back, turn left, turn right, slide left, slide right, even though I did that backwards. But we pass in all those values into this method, and then the TM drive figures out, okay, well, to do what the operator wants us to do, these wheel needs to turn in these rotations. Same with tank drive, except tank drive can't slide left and slide right, it can only turn and go forward and back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you quickly mentioned encoders and the encoder codes per revolution. So could you let me understand exactly what are encoders?
Alright. Encoders is a way to measure the number of revolutions a motor has gone. Or where we have ours is inside of the gear, inside of the gearbox. We have our encoders. And you noticed it was like 1024. That's 1024 pulses per revolution, meaning this thing sends a pulse to the Robo-Rio 1024 times in one revolution of that wheel. If our wheel is 6 inches in diameter, that means we have 6 pi distance covered whenever we go forward 1024 pulses. That's kind of how you can relate to it in the real world, so that in the real world I need to move 18 inches or so. Roughly 18 inches, just doing math real quick, would put me at 1 revolution, and I could say stop after that. And you can use that for a conversion type thing. The encoders can also tell you speed, because you also have a little bit of relation in time there, so you can figure out how fast it's rotating as well. But the reason is 1024 pulses is so that you have a little bit finer control. You don't have to say, hey, have I hit 1 revolution yet? Oh, no, I've hit 1/1024th of a rotation.
Okay.
But yeah, so to use that value, what we do is we configure our encoders here, and to do that, we just set each motor to use that 1024 whenever we configure it. If we ever need to reset it, like, let's say we're running a command like, say, let's go forward 24 inches, well, we want to make sure the base for all of our motors are 0 before we say go 24 inches. So we reset them to 0, and then it counts up to 20, or whatever 24 inches to rotations per evolution is, or pulses per evolution is. So that covers the basics of it. You can get the velocity out of them, as I said, and you can get the position of them. So.
Okay. So back in the main robot.java, I noticed that there were a lot of like commands being called and command base. So could you actually talk about what command base is?
All right. Command base is a class that is extended by all commands. We use a command-based robot, so a robot has different commands that it can run. Drive with joystick is a popular one because we need to be able to drive with it whenever we're in teleop. But we also have commands like approach peg and turn left, turn right, wait till, stuff like that. Very simple commands. If you can break these commands up into small sections, then you can combine them together in command groups. That's probably a little bit more of an advanced topic, but to get back to what a command base is, it is the base that all commands extend from. What it includes is it includes like it includes an object of drivetrain, vision, gear, compressing, and rope. That was for our robot. We had no ball pickup or no throwing this year. But that's what our command base has. Then, whenever we initialize a new instance of command base, we actually tell it to, hey, create a new instance of drivetrain, create a new instance of vision, and save them into these static variables. That way, whenever a command is extended from it, we can say, hey, you require this subsystem, make sure it's not already in use, and then use it. A good example, as I said earlier, was probably drive with joystick. So, let's see, where is drive with joystick? It is somewhere. I'm probably blind. Alphabetical order. There we are. Alright, so if I want to drive with joystick, there's a couple different things. The one required thing is this isFinished method. That is required by anything that extends a command, which command base extends. You'll notice that this extends command base. Also, when we whenever we create a constructor for it, we tell the system, hey, this requires the drivetrain, so make sure the drivetrain is not being used by something else. Then we initialize it with default values, like first iterations, making sure nothing's getting... Just make sure everything's in a refresh state whenever we want to start this. This gets called once whenever we call command.start. This is called once. Then we have this execute, which is the loop of the command. This is what actually gets run multiple times. You'll notice that if I want something ran once, I could do it either in the initialized state or inside of the execute state using a boolean saying is first iteration. Then what we're doing is we're getting certain button values back, doing certain things based on those button values. The main thing that we're doing is taking our controller, setting an X and Y, and then telling our drivetrain, since we used Mechanism this year, to move based on those X and Y coordinates and actually do something. And that's actually what controls the subsystem are these commands. So, and then whenever you're done with everything, you set the isFinished done. But since this is a command that should always be ran, finished is never done because we're in teleop. So,
Okay.
I think that covers
So
the basics of a command.
Sorry. So you were talking about how actually subsystems call on these commands. So I know we already covered drivetrain, but what other kinds of subsystems would we actually be using for our robot?
Alright, so another subsystem that is widely used would be vision, or should be used. It's a little bit more complicated, way more complicated actually. But you'll see our vision is quite complex in how many objects it has. There's a light relay, we have a camera, OpenCV is a very smart tool that we use, and so we use a sink and a source, a server to actually see our stuff. It gets really complex at times. We initialize our camera doing different things. Then we actually have a thread. That is something completely different, but just think about two processes happening at the same time at different speeds. That is what a thread is, so we have a separate thread going for our vision, so we can process that vision separately. And then based off of that stuff, we draw rectangles through the screen to see what the camera sees, filter down the image, stuff like that. And then that way, when we have this, we can use those values that it's calculated and use it inside of a command. So an example would probably be an approach peg. You see how we're requiring drivetrain and vision. And we don't really care about approaching, well, we do care about approaching IntelliOp. But what we're doing is we're taking that value from vision, so we have a vision.getCenterX, so the center value of both the rectangles this year. We get the center value of it from our vision, and then we do something based off of it. Some algorithm is ran against center X to figure out exactly what the robot needs to do, and then we set that, and then we tell the drivetrain to do something based on it.
Okay.
So that's a little bit more complex, but...
Yeah, but thanks for talking about that, because, you know, I think that's a very necessary part of the robot code that we actually use this year. So
Yeah.
we're coming up a little bit close to time, so you know, I think that for any of my other questions, we should do another video, possibly
Sounds
in the future.
great.
But for now, thank you, and goodbye, everybody.
Alright, thank you for watching. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe below. We do live stream around 6:30 Eastern Time every Sunday. We try to push about 3 videos in each live stream, so if you guys have any questions, let us know. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, that was good.
Yeah. That was
How long did
15
you-
minutes, 33 seconds.
That's excellent, actually. I think we covered a lot in the robot code for that one.
Right. I was like, I could ask more questions, but I don't want to, like, feel like I'm pushing for filler, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. 15 minutes is fine. That's great.
So I think that worked out pretty well. Alright, welcome back. I'm Dad. Wait a second.
I went on fiddle.
I need to make that transition thing.
And how do you like it?
It's a lot like CodePen, but in CodePen I don't have to press run for it to run. Like every time I enter something, it immediately comes in, but it does not close my tags.
Yeah, but it
Which
could
I
be
like.
annoying in my opinion, so...
It's sometimes.
I
yeah,
guess it's
see
just
what it
personal
could be.
preference. Yeah. Anyways, do you think I should use JS Fiddle for it, or do you think something else should be used?
I would check out CodePen real fast because it's really nice. CodePen.io.
Is that is it an online thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even like download? Oh, cool.
No,
You don't have to
JS Fiddle's
download
the
it
same
all.
way.
But there is a format that is best to put it in to make it look the neatest. I would say.
Okay.
What they call normal code is like pins, but if you want to do the file system, which will only
What
let
it-
you do one if you don't pay for it, which is a little bad. Like if you want to do a regular file system, like any normal website would use, you only get one. But
Yeah.
when you get into your pin, which is just like a singular code, the best way, it starts you out like your code's on top and what you have is on bottom. But
Yeah, I've seen this before.
as I've seen in my class, you want to put the code on the left or the code on the right for it to be readable and to be able to see your website at the same time, or what you've created at the same time.
So that's for education. I'm wondering if we can get a license for free for this. I think I already have a login for this.
Ooh.
Nope, I don't. Let's log in with GitHub. Yep, I've used it before. I've just always used the JS fiddle because that's just what I've learned and grew up
You
with.
can
so.
use it. I
No,
don't
but if you
really prefer to use CodePen either. I like the method of an actual thing the best.
yeah, it's nice until you actually have to. Well, it's nice until I have to run a server to serve up the files. So there's certain frameworks out there that require a server to actually serve up the files instead of actually getting it from your directory. So, that's just Alright now. Cancel. Why isn't this thing working? Oh. Yeah, this is...
Yeah, the account thing is a little weird. But we all signed up for the basic thing that doesn't cost any money. And the pens work pretty well. But we're mostly using Notepad++ because we get a little bit of the experience with the filing system too.
So you're thinking just VS Code would be best?
It doesn't honestly matter for me. Whatever you think is best. I've been coding for like 6 weeks compared to how many years you've been doing it.
0.2.
No, I've been doing it since 6th, 7th grade.
Lit. Dude, that's so cool. What the heck? I've only been doing it from... Actually, yeah, probably 7th. 8th?
Alright, so I'm
But
gonna have
for
an
me-
index.html.
I've been trying since 7th, but I haven't held on to anything.
No, but that's okay because you're trying. I'm sure you've actually...
I should have started on HTML, which
See, I'm
is
sure you've
extremely
actually
important.
retained much more than you think you have.
I know, based on this book that I have, I know exactly one JavaScript statement that allows me to, during the day, on the website, change if it says good morning, good evening, or good afternoon.
Oh, so you're just using computer time?
The time.
Yeah.
And if it cannot, and if the time messes up, it'll just say welcome.
Well, okay. Well. Alright. Sorry, I'm building out my structure right now for it.
Go ahead. Gotta set it up. But yeah, no, like, Cameron, even if you might not be retaining specific, like, JavaScript commands or, you know, like, that sort of thing, like, I don't even remember that much freaking C++. I could probably still write hello world, but, like, without, like, a refresher, but, I mean...
I don't even know if I can write
like,
hello world.
I mean,
We
like,
went over-
specifically from each language, I feel like what you should, like, really be focused on retaining is something more like, you know, thought processes or mindsets sort of thing, not actual, like, this is what this line does.
Exactly. That's what I mean by, so there's a few things that threw me off. I code mainly in C# and Golang. And that's just because that's what I work in, right? But with Golang, there was something that threw me off, and it was the switch statement and how it was executed, right? And that's just a very edge case. I knew I wanted to use a switch statement, but I also didn't know how the switch statement worked in Go. Same with C#. I know what I want. It is just how to implement it in that language that makes it different or odd. So, yeah.
Well,
So anyways... Yeah, what's up?
There's a subreddit called Programmer Humor, and there was one thing on. Alright, let me see if I can find this post. Oh, cause I feel like you'd like it. Basically, it was like for each language, it's like what if we did something, and right now I can't find it. But for like for all these other ones, it was like, what if we like recreated variables? What if we reintroduced like switch statements? Or what if we reiterated how this worked? For Go, it was literally, what if we recreated C?
Yeah, it was, and it works,
What?
and I love it. Actually,
Same
Golang
thing.
it is.
That's cool.
So what Google did is they said, "Hey, we have a problem. C is a great language, but it's very old. We want a modern version of C." So they took the actual creators of C and said, "Hey, make a more modern version. I want the readings of Python, the functionality, like the speed of C, but also the flexibility of Java.
What the heck?
Go."
Wow.
And go, and there's Golang.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, Cameron, if you wanted to, like, figure out, like, a language to, like, get your feet off the ground or, like, click refresher, like, everywhere that I've looked and people that I've talked to are always like, oh, yeah, try Python, because Python is apparently, like, super easy
Oh, yeah.
and friendly.
Like I started.
It is,
I've
but
heard
it's
all-
not used a lot.
It's not used that much, yeah. It's more for, like, picking up thought processes and stuff, in my opinion. Just, like, the coding style. Because I mean, Python, like, you can write web apps and stuff in Python, but who does? Question mark.
It's used a lot in the math community.
Oh, yeah, no, that one's for sure. Because I actually wrote this program. Have you ever heard of like Markov chains? Or like
What?
the Monte? So there was this thing for like decryptions of like ciphers and stuff. This method called like Markov chain Monte Carlo algorithm or whatever. And
Oh, I know what
wrote-
Monte Carlo is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I wrote a program for that in Python, and yeah. 'Cause,
I
like,
wrote
well,
a Python version of Monte Carlo for figuring out pi.
Oh, lit. Yeah,
that was
did
interesting.
That in Python, and it was weird because I mean, like the only documentation I could like find for like help for it was like in Python. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this then. So that was fun. Back
So
to
I'm-
studying math.
Should I just So should I just assume that they have HTML down?
I mean, it's
that
not
the
that hard.
best-
If they don't, we can do an HTML video, but I don't know like what we would cover. Other than,
HTML
this
is like
is a
super
tag.
easy to learn.
Yeah, it's like this is a tag. You have to have an opening and a closing tag.
It's more of getting used to the HTML5 standards, right? So, for example, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I just set up an H1 without a header tag around it, and I probably should have because technically it is a header. Right? So now I have an HTML5 element called header. Also, making sure you have doc type, make sure you have the your character set that you're using.
Do you need lang equals en dot like underscore us?
It's not needed.
Okay, because whenever I see HTML5 documentation, I always see that. So I was just wondering.
Yeah. None of this, actually, technically, that's not needed either.
What?
And that's not needed.
Wait, really?
It's just, yeah. It's whatever you want your, Hold on. I'm trying to think
cool.
here. Yeah. So it's whatever you want your, It's more browser supports. Your browser is actually reading through that. The more you have, the more the browser knows about your documentation, and the better it is cross-browser wise. But that's just about it. Like, this will still display.
I ran it on Fiddle. I ran into some problems with. There was like some like problem text at the bottom with the head and the doc type HTML.
Huh. Oh, I think it's because it's expecting you to put whatever's in the HTML in the body. That's what it is. It's not like you're actually putting the full body of. You're not actually creating the HTML file. You're creating what's inside between the two body tags.
Because you're already creating the title over here. The meta chart that's probably already set, and
Yeah.
there's no need to input CSS code because it's right there.
Yep. I don't need to cover CSS, right? Nope.
A lot of the classes in college already do. I think it is a mandatory class at this point, HTML and CSS.
In college?
I hope so. That's where everything's going.
I mean, at least at Tech it is. They're offering it
okay.
over at my high school. It's a,
Okay.
I'm passing with 100 in the coding part so far.
Nice. Proud of you, Cameron.
It's not that hard. It's just HTML and CSS.
I know.
Whoa.
Just like whatever.
I mean, once
Alright.
we had to print out code and I didn't realize it, and that had 30 lines I could have easily done by linking it.
Oh yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. Like that JavaScript script link. Yeah. Do you need a beginning parenthesis?
Yes.
Alright, this is how this is how you know I need to brush up on my JavaScript, god dang it, dude.
Well, okay, so this is a JavaScript hack, if that's what you're talking about.
A what?
A JavaScript hack.
Oh, okay.
That didn't do what I wanted to do.
Oh, why did I reopen Discord? I'm such a fool.
It's a very interesting live stream we got going on here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The best programming content on the continent.
Dude,
To me,
freaking
it's
last week there was actually someone who, like, some rando in the chat who was like, oh, finally something being good, like, streamed on YouTube. We're like, who is this person?
Alright, then you left like 5 seconds after you said that.
Yeah, we were like, what? Who is? He had like a Minecraft diamond as his profile picture, so I was like, is he 13? I don't know.
Was it a gold diamond by any
No, it was
chance?
like a teal diamond, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
so why isn't it not liking this? This is weird.
But from the greatest experience I've had from coding or trying to code is that do not start on the really hard languages or the
Oh
ones
yeah. For sure.
you need to start on Python or HTML.
I mean, I don't even think well, maybe HTML. Just like the attention to detail, because you can easily like screw it up with like an extra brace. But yeah, no, definitely like don't start on something really hard because like the key thing to know, like, or to get once you first start, I think, is just like pick up the concept, and then you can go to like languages like mindfuck, and then you know like hate yourself.
Alright, I'm trying to figure out why this link's not working.
I mean, HTML, they connect to different things. HTML connects to CSS and JavaScript and jQuery, which
I'm not gonna go through jQuery. That's a completely different monster. Even though it helps select elements.
It's just
Yep,
on the book.
Yep.
Most
No,
websites
no,
don't
I
use
agree.
it.
jQuery is a great tool. I use it all the time just to make sure I can grab the correct elements and do certain methods on it. And I use it all the time. But if we're going to do JavaScript, we need to do JavaScript, not jQuery.
Yeah, it was just on the book. I was just naming things HTML connects to, which it is one of them.
Well, you guys can see my screen. I'm trying to figure out why this isn't working, though.
Okay.
Oh wait, the JavaScript the thing.
It should be alert. Like, this should be calling alert hello world, and it's not.
No, wait, I don't think it's called alert. I think it's called prompt.
It's called alert.
Is it?
Trust me, I can do alert here.
Document
And I
dot
can-
write.
That's if you want to print. I'm actually trying to get that alert box that says this page says hello.
Oh.
But it doesn't seem to actually be going to, like, if I look over in my sources, and it sees my index, but it doesn't see this assets JavaScript main.js. Yep. Oh, is it source? It's source, not href.
SRC, yeah.
Oh.
There we are.
Yep, okay.
Let me see if this
CSS
does.
and stuff, yeah.
For the few people watching, little things like that can ruin your entire code.
It really
For the
could.
3 people watching, that's freaking me, you, and Atosh.
Alright.
Wait, where did
I don't think.
Deep, where
Alright,
you at?
I have no reason to watch this stream. I'm on it.
I don't think Atosh is
Where you
on.
at, fam?
Alright. Should I confuse people with that function code that I had earlier, or no?
I mean, it's JavaScript. You're gonna want to talk about functions, yeah?
But no, this function code that I have up there now is quite different than most people see. Because
Oh.
technically, this, or what this does, functions the same as this, currently. It's just, technically, in the execution time, this code gets ran after all of the elements have loaded onto the screen. So if I needed to grab an element, you want it within the function. But if I'm just alerting onto the page, I don't care if elements have loaded on the screen yet. So
Cameron, make the executive call. I'm leaving this to you now because I actually have to study math.
Well,
This is your stuff, buddy.
if you add on the function at a later point when it gets more sophisticated, you might want to go ahead and do the function now.
well, I'm not going to tell them what a function is. I could just say, hey, just know this for now so that we can actually execute JavaScript at the end of the document loading. Or say, I don't know what you want me to cover. Do you want me to cover functions? Do you want me to cover objects? Do you want me to cover grabbing elements off the DOM? Do you want me to cover displaying elements? Are we doing console-based JavaScript?
I understood only half those words, but
Okay. Let's see. We got document. I know document dot background color. Oh yeah, I can't do that. Document dot get element by tag name body dot well, there's only one dot. I think that one's depicted. I think is what it says. So background. I don't know. Can I just set it to a color? Should be a purplish color. Oh yeah, it'd help if I. Ha! Get element by tag is not a function. Oh, get elements by tag name. Why is that not a function? Is that not a function anymore? I don't know, this is just me playing around with pure JavaScript. I don't normally play around with pure JavaScript.
I mean, we could take out the function and then add it back in later if it's not currently needed.
Yeah, we can. That's probably what we'll do. So that's just gonna confuse, I think.
We gotta think of it kind of like a house, like a European city would work. You have like the base center, and then you, which is the very basics, and you keep adding on to it until it becomes like Paris or London. would be the best way I can explain it.
Alright, I'm trying to figure out how to set the background color.
I mean, I'm pretty much just as clueless as a lot of the audience would probably be.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Jesus.
Woo!
30 minutes.
Took you 30 minutes to do that?
No, I thought you guys haven't been hearing me, and I realized you're not. Like, hello, can anyone hear me? No, no one can hear me a word.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, Cameron.
Nice.
I think what you're talking about is procedural abstraction. You have your base, and you keep adding to it.
Well,
Yep.
not just European cities, every city's that way.
No, in coding, isn't that called procedural abstraction more?
I don't know. You're the one that's going to school for coding. Guess who never went to school for coding?
I think it's called procedural abstraction, or like bottom.
It probably is.
Or like it's that or bottom up development. It's like it was an AP question, like or whatever. They actually ask you with terms, which is really stupid.
There we are. Alright. That's a horrible purple, but
Nice neon purple.
let's actually just go with our color. I think it's 00B3B3.
Yeah, that's it.
There we are. It's a lot easier on the eye.
I think I tried to use it. I think I tried to use it and accidentally entered 3B3B.
That's probably not as good.
Here, let me search it.
3B3B. So that's how. So we're grabbing an element and stuff like that.
Not that bad.
The issue is when you execute this without those function tags, I run the risk of the element not being loaded before the JavaScript's loaded. So, but I don't think I have to worry about it too much. I don't know what you want me to cover, so I'm gonna be winging it. I don't want to wing it too much though because there'll be a lot of cutting.
I'm trying to do very basic questions. Really
Alright.
basic questions. Like these should be very easy to improvise off of.
So, let me just make sure I got everything that I could think of down. Variable I equals blah console dot. I think it's not console dot print. It's console dot write. Debug
Document
console
dot
dot debug. Console dot debug.
I know there's a document dot write.
That writes it to the screen though. Right. What I was talking about
There's
is
a
this actually writes it.
log also.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you. That actually writes it to the console down here.
That's
Which
the only
no
thing I
one can
remember
read.
from Code Academy right now, which is really bad.
Alright, there we are. So I got that, I got that, I got that, got a variable. Technically I can tell the variable to equal ooh, I had a joke. Here we are. Yeah, I'm gonna paste something that I want. Paste this into take that, open up your web browser, open up the console and paste it into your console. Aw, that didn't work for me. Why isn't it array defined? Make that a capital A. Alright. So anyway, so we'll clear that. We got that. We can refresh this. Clear that. Don't know if we want to set the background color here, but that gives us something to start off with. That also goes through that. I can go with functions. I can talk about how JavaScript is object-oriented, sort of. Alright. Just know it's rough.
You could do it like right after an intro, like you could say like, "Hey, we're going over JavaScript. JavaScript is a coding language that is blank, 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 blank."
That's true.
Just for the part 1.
Yep. Alright. Alright. Let me go take... I'm gonna take like a 2-minute break real quick before we continue with this.
I'll try to think of any questions I can.
Alright.
Okay. We will be recording in a moment.
Zako. Is Zako here?
No, he went to go study math.
Oh, Zach's not here.
What are you
What
studying
doesn't
for
hurt.
right now?
Physics.
Wait, what?
I have a physics, AP physics exam.
You're taking physics?
Yeah, the exam.
Did not take it last year?
That's another one. It's a higher level.
Oh.
I wish we had an AP Science at my school, but we don't.
It's not a class. I'm just taking the test. I taught myself.
Oh.
Yep.
We don't have
So-
any AP Sciences though. We have one AP English. I think
You
like
don't
2 AP Maths.
Yeah, our school is smaller than yours. The only thing that we have over yours is IB. If you guys don't have it, we don't have it. We don't have any AP Science either.
Alright, I'm back.
I think we used to have an AP Biology though, but they got rid of that.
Yeah, we never offered that.
We ready to start?
I'm never ready to start. But yeah, I'm good.
Then you are ready to start.
Alright. Okay. So got that, got that.
Little list prepared.
Sounds good to me. Atos, you mind muting yourself?
Absolutely. Not a word.
Alright. Let me make sure I get to the right screen. There we are. Hey YouTube, this is Will. I'm here with Technomancers, a mentor for them, Team 1758 for our first robotics. I'm also here with...
Hello, I am Cameron Karsten, and I am a student within the robotics program.
And he's very interested in JavaScript right now, so I figured we'd cover a JavaScript tutorial. So where would you like to start, Cameron?
I think a good starting point would be the basics of variables.
Variables, okay. So, let's see, we have different base types. Let's see, we have integers, we have strings, and booleans, and all that. But what's nice is, about JavaScript, it is very dynamic. You don't have to specify what a variable type is. So, for example, I can have a variable type A equal to hello, right? And then I can also set A equal to an integer right afterwards. And it's not going to fuss at me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print these out to document dot, let's just write line and A. So whenever I refresh this page, you should see that 1 right there. Let's go ahead and max. There we are. So now you see how it's set to 1, because even though I set it to a string and then right back to an integer, JavaScript doesn't care. It's not type safe. Makes coding really easy, but very prone to debugging, or not to debugging, but prone to bugs. So there's a lot of debugging stuff you have to start to learn throughout the way. I don't know exactly what you want to know about variables, Cameron. That's how you set them.
What are a lot of the different ways that you can use variables within JavaScript?
Alright, so a way that we can use variables is to, we saved a variable here, and then we actually used it to write to the screen. That's declaring, we initialized it, used it, and then changed it as well right here. So I can actually, to prove a point, we can a equals 1, and then document dot write line. We'll write a out again, right? And if I go ahead and reload this, you'll see it's hello and then 1, because even though we're using the same variable once, we just reset it to an integer, which seems kind of funky, and me personally, I don't like it. Something else it could be used for is function is a first class object in JavaScript, so I can have a named variable, let's call hello world. I mean, that's like what everyone uses, and we can name it a function. And this function, all it's going to do is write the line hello world. Now you'll notice this is a function, but I actually didn't call the function, so when I refresh the screen you don't see hello world. But if I, after calling it hello world, and I actually call the function, you'll realize, hey, there's a hello world right here. And that's just because I'm actually specifying to, I'm actually executing that function. Now I can call this multiple times, so I can call hello world again, right? It's a variable. I can call variables multiple times without changing it, and it would be that. But now I can set hello world to a number, or to hello world itself. And what's going to happen is, now if I try to run hello world as a function, I'm going to get a JavaScript uncaught error down here. So that's what I mean by a little bit of bugs are prone, is if you start typing like this. I don't recommend keep type safety. Even if it's not hard-coded into JavaScript, it makes it easy for stuff to sneak in. So just be careful with it. Does that cover about what you were thinking about?
Yes. Right now.
Alright. Any other questions?
A lot of coding is if-else statements. How would you do that in JavaScript?
Okay, so let's see. We're gonna do an if-else statement. I'll just go ahead and clean some of this up. I'm gonna stick with this function. I like working inside functions. But this function's going to take in a variable that we're gonna call show. This show is going to be a Boolean type. I'm going to keep that in my head, even though I can't type it here. I'm just going to keep that in my head. And then I'm going to say if show, I got to put it in parentheses, if show does not equal undefined and show is true. So making sure that we actually defined what shown is. If I print to the console what show is beforehand, so actually I'm going to do a console.log show to show you what the different values of show would be. There's an undefined, there's a null value, which means, hey, it was defined, there's just no value set to it. Then there is the actual value itself. So I'm making sure that it's not undefined, and if I want to show it, do this, and then you wanted to talk about an else statement as well. So we'll do a document.writeLine goodbye world. I don't know. No one ever does that one. It's kind of a dark one though. So I'm sorry, I'm one of these people that have to make sure tabbing's right and everything. So I have a variable that I'm passing into this function. Now it's going to print that out to this log feature over here. I'm going to clear that out. It's going to print it out to this console. That's what console.log does. And then I'm going to first do a Boolean check. I'm going to check to see, hey, have I actually defined what show was? If not, it's going to print this else statement. But if I have, and it is true, meaning, hey, this Boolean value we set as show is true, then it's going to print this. Now to go what show is equal to true in JavaScript, that's a whole different rabbit hole. You can set it to a string and it still returns true if you don't even set it to anything. So you get kind of iffy there. But what we can do is we can call hello world. This one should, by the way, 2 forward slashes is a comment. So this one should print goodbye world or Wallard, because I misspelled it in the function. This one right here should print, well, if I can type today, this one should print hello world, because 1, it is defined, and 2, it is set to true. Hello world also, we'll set this one to false. This one should do that, this one up here, because this is weird, right? But let's also go over and see what happens if I actually set it to a number. Like, for example, to tell you the truth, some of these, the truthy and falsy values in JavaScript are a little confusing, even for me. So let's just see what happens if I type in hello here and pass in a 1758. Alright, so these two are kind of just like, let's see what happens when we pass in something that's not a Boolean value. But these are kind of defined as in what will happen. So let's see. Let's go ahead and, well, I don't need to do anything like that. So let's just refresh this page and see what happens. There we are. So you'll see that we have this undefined. That is because this first one passed through and we didn't define what show is. So this was skipped because if not undefined, if not undefined and it is true. So it was undefined, so it passed through that and went through goodbye world, and you see that here. Well, Wallard. I don't know what Wallard is. Then we have a true value, right? That true value went through because 1, it was defined, set it to true, and show is true, so therefore it showed hello world. But then goodbye world also showed up because we set it to false. But now you notice we have 2 more hello worlds. Because all JavaScript cares about, right now what that and show is, doesn't mean and show equals true. It's just saying, hey, is there something inside of show? And there is. If I wanted to define it even more, I would say equal to true. Right? And then if I refresh the page, you'll see that now changed to goodbye world 2 times, because now I'm actually making sure that there is a true value there. It's actually true. This 3 is a little different than a double equals sign in most languages. Don't really have a good example for you what I mean by that. Just a good rule of thumb is to always use 3 equal signs in JavaScript. So, yeah. So I think that covers a little bit of the if-else. There's also an else-if statement, as in I could go deeper into it. So I could say else if show equals hello. Then I could say, this is just to finish this tag up. Documents dot write line, if it will let me. Well, I can't type. How are you? There we are. There we are. There's your how are you. Because we put hello through here, so it went through that first one, recognized, hey, we can't go inside this one. Check the next one. Hey, that one's true, so let's go into that one. And then this is like the fall through for everything else. Make sure it catches everything else. So I think that covers most of it. Got anything else, Cameron?
If it's basic enough for the first JavaScript tutorial, how could you use, what are the multitudes of ways that you can use variables together?
Ooh, that one's gonna be an interesting one. So you're talking about like concatenating strings together, adding a integer to the end of a string, stuff like that.
Like creating variables that are quantities of two different variables and stuff like that.
Okay, so let's see. We're gonna do. Let's clear this one. All right, we're gonna delete that one. I'm gonna call this an add function because that's exactly what it's gonna do. A and B, and what it's going to do is document.write line A plus B. And actually, I'm not going to do document.writeLine. I'm going to do console.log, because then we get a little bit more information about A plus B, whether it's undefined or true or false and stuff like that. So, what this is doing is these are technically variables, but they're called parameters inside the function. So I could create a separate variable for it, but what I'm doing is I'm just creating the variable when the function is called, making it a little easier for me to type out instead of having to do var a equals this, var b equals this, a plus b equals this. I'm just going to pass it into this add function, and then this add function is going to print it out to the console so we can get a better idea of what's actually being done. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a and b, or a equals 1, 17, right? That one should return as expected. There we are, 18, right? We can also add, let's see, hello, and add world to it, right? Now, even though we're adding, this is how we can concatenate a string together. So now there's a hello world right there, all on one string. Something else we can do, so we can add, I think we can add hello and add a number to it, and it will still treat it the same. It will just turn the 12 into a string, but I don't think it can go the other way around. So if we put 12 and hello, oh, apparently it works. So there we are, there's 12 there. So that's concatenating different things. Something we could do is we could say A equals 12. I think this is what we were getting on the lines of for Cameron. B equals 13. And var the sum equals A plus B, right? And then we also have the average equals the sum divided by 2, because you add them all up, divided by the total of number of variables. Since we only have 2 variables, there's the average. And we can do console.log A, B, sum, and average. And that should give us 12, 13, 25, and 12.5, because 12 and 13 were our A and B, and then our sum was 25, and then we also passed in the average, which is halfway between 13 and 12, which is 12.5. So that's just quick and dirty variable manipulation between, hey, take in this and do something with it. Now, of course, a variable can be a function, like I said, so I can technically put in can't print to screen now. You can't write document.writeLine. But since JavaScript is an object-oriented language, you'll notice that, hey, it recognized, hey, this is what the function is. The function add is a, b, console.log a plus b. And there it is. So it's quite interesting how that, JavaScript knows a little bit about it. Anything else, Cameron?
Nothing I could think of right now.
Alright, so that covered the very, very basics of JavaScript. If you guys want to see more, please like and subscribe down below. Comment below of any questions you may have on JavaScript. And I'm sure I'll probably be learning more about JavaScript along the way as well, because I was a little rough at JavaScript at first. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye. Yeah, that's. I don't know if I don't know if I hit what you were talking about with the variable stuff.
With adding the variables together, you did that extremely well.
Okay. I wasn't sure which way you wanted to do it, so. Alright. Yeah, that was pretty simple. Makes me think of how much I actually do miss JavaScript.
Well, I found the question by turning to a random page in the book I have here, and it was, I think it was like a signage company kind of thing, where so many letters would cost so much. It'd be like the base price versus how many letters there are equals the total.
Okay, so you would take like the length of the string, multiply it by some constant value, and return it.
A variable quantity equaled length of the string or something like that.
Okay. Alright. Yeah. I wasn't sure, like, because when you said variables, I'm like, well, I like, because if you couldn't tell, I like using functions a lot.
You do.
To me, they make it a lot easier if you just build everything into functions and then just start calling functions inside functions with JavaScript. But, yep. Oh, and it looks like it still passed even though this should have failed because I forgot a semicolon. Huh. That's interesting. Also, I was surprised to see that string. I bet if I added this to subtract, it would fail a lot more. Yep. Not a number, not a number, not a number.
In the book, it doesn't have the quantity as a changeable variable quite yet, or an input wide variable yet. It just has the 14 because the thing is already 14 letters.
Okay.
It's just showing you how to use variables together pretty much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think you could take the length of string. So I don't remember how to do this. Var a equals hello world. A dot, I think it's length. Yep, that's it. So I can do console.log. And if I refreshed, length is not a function, it must be a data type. Or it must be just a variable on top of it. There it is, 11. So then you would just take that and take some constant, right? So you said quantity. Quantity is hello, or actually what they're wanting. Yeah, what they want is hello world, then you can get the quantity based off of the length. Then you just set a constant value. Yeah, I don't know if there's such a thing. Is there a constant? Yeah, there is. Sweet. So there you are. You set a constant value for your price. Multiply the two together and you're good. Is anybody else still awake? Or
I mean, Zachary just got back. He's muted though.
alright.
Hello.
Is Deep still online?
Deep is in
He's
here.
still
He's
here.
muted.
Discord says he's playing RuneScape.
Deep, you were playing RuneScape, bro?
Not right
So?
now. He was.
What's wrong with
No,
RuneScape?
There's nothing wrong with RuneScape. Dude, I was about to say that's lit.
How'd you know that?
It says it on Discord, or it said it on Discord.
Oh, freaker.
Dude, that's lit. I love RuneScape, man.
Oh yeah, did you see those transition slides?
Yeah, stream will resume in a few minutes. Stream will begin in a few moments. I love them.
That's lit.
I'll download those now.
You're really good with
I'll include
those.
them.
Deep is the true master.
Of artwork.
Create like
right?
a
Yeah, of artwork, literally.
create an intro,
Oh,
like a video intro.
actually, no, it looked pretty good. The only thing now is we need to make it Comic Sans.
We need to have an intro
yeah.
like a low budget Minecraft YouTuber does,
Oh god.
or like it
What's wrong
spins
with that?
around and plays like heavy metal music or something like that. No, pop music. Yeah, pop music.
No, I mean pop music is fine. Heavy metal would be kind of funny. No, you know what we need to have our intros? Swedish heavy metal.
Swedish heavy metal. That's a very bad accent.
It's okay. All accents start badly. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
I think the JavaScript video went very well though.
Yeah. I don't know how long it was.
I'd say somewhere around 15 minutes. We started around like 9:44 and ended around 10.
Nice.
So it definitely fits under 30 minutes or under 20 minutes.
Gosh, Deep is the one who pulled out the third. No. Dang it, Deep. No, it's
So,
you had.
have you guys heard of this? So there's this
You got
JavaScript
it.
framework that I would definitely recommend to you, Zach, if you're going to go with frameworks. And it's called Vue.js.
Oh.
And it's a very simple. So you still use JavaScript, jQuery, right? That's what I would use. JavaScript, jQuery, and Vue.js is all you need. If you try to go with Angular, it's a lot of trying to plug things together, and they just don't seem to work as well and stuff like that. Vue.js is pretty simple, but you notice as I'm typing, the little logo at the top is changing because it's changing the hash of my email. But once I change it to something that actually exists within Gravatar, there's my image.
I see.
But it's because, so Gravatar is something, it's a service, an API. But what's actually changing it live is every time I change a character in here, Vue.js re-renders, I say re-renders, just does minor changes, little changes, and updates that based on it. So let's see, do I have one for my company email? There it is. So it's the same one. It's just, you notice how every time I change a character, it's something different.
That's cool.
So
Alright, yeah, I'll definitely
that was
look
just to show the power of Vue.js, but I would definitely look into that one.
Okay.
Yep. But also, how's the webpage going?
So I changed it up to how it is now. I haven't touched it ever since I made that last change, like pushed up anything to master. I'm going to take what you had on that web app, the WT catering. I'm gonna change it to that format, sort of thing.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. And then I'll probably like try to figure out. Well, no, first I'll probably try to figure out how I can use a JavaScript, like a JavaScript framework, and then from there I can always like order it however I want.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what you need a JavaScript framework for.
I don't think I need it for the homepage. I don't even think I need it, to be honest.
That's what I'm asking, is what kind of content do you need that's dynamic enough?
The only thing I could think of maybe for using JavaScript is like thumbnail type pictures, like on the side, like in a gallery, but like I don't like that's not too hard.
A JavaScript framework would be nice to keep things modular and pluggable, I guess. Components, right?
Yeah, but I don't think we need that right now.
Let's see what it looks like currently. All right.
Keep in mind it's not built for a 4K, so I need to start using more like Bootstrap and stuff.
No. Bootstrap's not built for 4K either.
But I mean, like, just the fact of the matter is that like on my monitor versus my laptop versus my phone, right? So like it's built to cater to my laptop right now.
But if you look at Google, Google's not catered for 4K. So
Right.
So don't think that your webpage should not be catered for 4K.
Well, I mean, I know it shouldn't be catered for 4K, but it should be catered for like all kinds of sizes.
Correct,
So
correct. It should. Yeah. What you could do, I don't know. Do you have Chrome?
Yeah.
Let me. God, that's big. I gotta shrink that real quick. Sorry. That was too big for me. There's this icon in the top that I know you can't see because it's behind my camera.
Okay, it's toggle elements or something.
Let me see. There we are. There we are. Well, I've got to zoom back in for you. Shoot, of course. So you see toggle device toolbar?
Mm-hmm. Ah.
There you are. There you are. So that's like, this is what it's going to look like on a phone. That's 50 pixels wide.
Ah.
Yep.
Jesus.
And it looks like you got it set to, by percentages.
Yeah, I tried to do that just because.
That's because of... Yep.
Yeah.
So
I tried
that's...
to do it by percentages.
Yep,
just
that's
because I felt
actually...
like that would work better.
Just use Bootstrap.
Yeah, I get that.
What I would recommend is actually... This looks like it's a fluid container. Don't use a Bootstrap fluid container.
Just
It
use
makes
a
it more
regular
difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
That way it snaps to different sizes.
Gotcha.
I don't really have an example for you, but...
That's fine. I get it.
Yep. Alright. But that's how I test things out, right? Because, look, I'm not even on a different mobile device yet. I know how it's going to look on us. Yep.
Okay, I see.
So,
That's cool.
it's a nice developer tool that Chrome included.
Okay, thanks.
Gotta make sure I can use your website on my phone that's 50 times taller than it is wide.
Rip.
Yep. Yep. Also, minor tweaks. Where did this GitHub image come from?
Oh, the cat? That came as a default thing. But then I just like changed it around a little bit.
Something I don't like these different colors that kind of clash with ours.
Mm-hmm.
What you probably want to look into is font awesome. Now, this is coming from a design perspective from a non-designer.
Yeah,
but
no,
I still,
it's
yeah. So it's called Font Awesome. Let's just look at all icons. I'm actually going to increase it for you so you can actually see from my screen so you don't have to look at it. It's actually free, so you can pre-order it, but no, it's free. Like, it's open source type thing, and there's other tools out there for it.
Mm-hmm.
But these icons, so there's web application icons for like your different bars, battery levels. I'm pretty sure if I try to find it, I can find one for Twitter. There you are. So there's a Twitter one, and there's that. There's a
someone to,
Snapchat.
for our Twitter.
There's an Insta, probably. If there's a Twitter and a Snapchat, there's probably an Instagram.
Yep, there's GitHub, right? There's a Git and a GitHub alt.
HTML5.
GitHub Square. Yep. The reason for this is you see how they're black and when I hover over them they're white?
Uh-huh.
These are legit fonts. They're not images, they are fonts.
What? Hold on.
So you can change the color of them.
Would you type them out? There's so many of them.
It actually tells you, if I click on them, you see how it says, hey, I need to import Font Awesome and do that. And wherever I want this icon, you see how big this thing can get? This is an icon, right? But it's a font. This font's like at 150, but it's still a font. And I could change the color of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you just say, hey, I want a class of FA for Font Awesome, then Font Awesome GitHub Square. And
cool.
this is for... So... Yeah, that's how this works. It's not like
this
you
is
have
something
to...
that I should use. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
To me, it's way better because you can change the size, the color, and all that if you want. And you don't have to worry about their images.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
but it
'cause
also
I
looks...
literally just...
But it also, they look nice whenever you add them just to something like up here on the top right.
Mhm.
Right?
Instead
Or
of having
some-
that sidebar. Well, see, the thing was that like if I'm changing the layout of the home page to like a very much like vertical stack of panels of information, then that sidebar can't be there. So obviously I have to put it somewhere else. So I'm probably gonna put them up top, or I'll put them on like the contact page or something. Like
You
I'm
can
not
have a
gonna that
sidebar
sidebar
in...
there.
You can have a sidebar inside of Bootstrap if that's what you're talking about, but I don't
No,
think
but
you
I
need
mean,
a sidebar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get rid of the sidebar when I start like vertical stacking of like panels of information.
All right.
You know what I mean?
So, yep, there's that. Also, if you can get some images,
Yeah,
you know how
that too.
if you saw how I staggered my images,
Yep. Left, right,
inside
left,
of the
right.
catering, that was just so that it kept it more balanced and more free flowing, and not like, oh, this is just a bunch of text on the screen.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I definitely have all of these ideas like in my head there, and it's not there yet. But it'll be there after exams are done.
For the website on the scrolling down thing, is it possible to have
Parallax
like-
imaging.
for the first image that you go over is different than the second one you could see?
What do you mean?
Like you know how there's for the one you're trying to make the website, you know how there's like the main text which has a completely white background, and then there's the background itself which is the picture.
ew.
Would it be possible?
I know it looks gross, but trust me, it'll get better.
I haven't seen it, but no, but
Yeah.
that sounds disgusting.
Oh, what he.
Yeah.
This website is like it needs to be fixed.
Okay, so here's a few things. Let's just go to Heroku. Let's just go there. The issue about Parallax is it takes forever to load because the images are huge. You'll see the image actually load. Did you see that flicker? It's because at 4K, this is 4K resolution. This thing looks great, but it's because the image is huge. But also, I still have parallax. Oh, whoa, that was. But you see how long it takes to scroll? To me, I don't know if you want that. It looks good on some sites, but not all sites. And it takes forever to load because of it. So, I don't know which way you want to go with it. But this is what I was thinking of. This is simple. It gets the point across. You get your, like, a subheader,
That's what
and
I
then
mean.
you just have some text there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I want to transition to that type of thing, like that type.
But
of
you
style.
notice how the images are also the same size.
Yep.
If they're not, you're going to throw things off.
Right.
By the way, that is my actual wedding picture. That's not like a pre-made one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you, buddy. All the other ones are stock photos.
Yep, all the other ones are. But this is actually using Font Awesome. You see those, this
Yeah, the
icon, that
icons.
phone icon?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there it is. Good icon of your phone. I know you probably can't read it, but
Nope.
trust
not
me.
at all.
Yeah, just trust me. That's it.
Okay.
And then there's a road one. That's for, like, directions. And then there's this, mail one for actually, like, email somewhere at example.org. But I also had a Google map on there. But I rejected the API keys. That's why it's giving me that text. But but also in the bottom left, it's a little tough to see. But you'll see there's a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let's see. Woo!
Wait, is the
There
footer
you
is
are.
not fixed? Is it? It's not.
The footer is at
Oh,
the
the
very
footer
bottom
is
of the
fixed.
page. No,
It's not like
just a,
fixed. Like okay.
yeah. But it's
Okay.
because what I did. There we are. I think I'm back at 100. Yep. Now I'm back at 100. Anyways, you'll see at the top left, if I hit home, it takes me to the top. Services just takes me there. I actually don't have, like, sub,
Oh, okay.
right?
Because see, what I was thinking was I would have something like this as the home page, but then I would still have like the other pages.
I don't
like,
know if you
formatted.
have enough Parallax is for a little bit more information than what you have on the home page.
No, I'm not saying specifically parallax, but like just this structure of page, with like the vertical vertical stack of information, and just like blurbs, like small blurbs of text.
Okay. Yeah. I would stick with something like this, at least for the front page. Just the services, though. I do like Parallax, but you gotta be careful with it, as in it's a tool in the
Parallax is-
toolbox that doesn't need to be used all the time.
Yeah, parallax is something that like, if we really want to do it, I can add it in. But like for right now, it's just because my big thing about parallax on our robotics website is we don't even have like a really good picture of our robot to like parallax.
Yeah.
So we need one of those first.
Well, I wouldn't even worry about it. I would worry about more of getting your different, like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing this. We have this. This is what we're about. Have a picture of our team. But that's. Let's see. Yeah. Also, try not to get images. Like, right now, I know this is within a list, but you have bullets there.
Yeah, I need to change that and, like, fix it to no bullets.
But also think about, okay, so you have this thing called the community build a drone, right? But, so, and also these images take forever to load. There's such thing as image quality over load time. So you can reduce the quality of the image, but still load it at a decent speed, and it still looks just about the same. Also, you can make these actual links.
Oh yeah.
Using like Ref, and then I think you can use phone, and then that will plug in the phone number there.
You can use that sort of thing. They
Like
used
this
it
right
earlier.
here. Yeah, like right there.
Yep.
Looks like you already have the the Google Maps working, which is nice. Not sure if I like the way that's viewed, but yeah. Also, since you could probably remove that.
Yep,
I mean,
'cause
this
we're
isn't the
changing it so
architect
much
thing.
now.
Well, it's not the architect theme anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like the idea of having the GitHub like view our code here, but I don't know. But also, let's see, we have welcome. That's great. Don't know if I like this orange.
That's just
I know
from
that
the gear. Yeah.
I know it is, but I'm still not sure. Like, our team color is that teal color. That orange was mainly just for the Steamworks gear color, not necessarily for the team's color. We can use it, but I'd just be careful with it.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I could make it black.
No.
Yeah, right. That I don't think it's good. It's black. But what's nice about it though is like if that color changes every year, we can change the color every year just by changing a hex code. I don't know.
So what we need to figure out is what's our two base colors for the webpage. One's that teal color, black and white, of course.
Right.
But you probably want one or two more base colors that complement each other. And it's finding those that's a little difficult. Yep. Let's see. Complementary colors. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Complementary colors online. That way I can just like... I think this is what I've used. Yep. And can I input my hex value? Sure can.
00B3B3.
Yep. So that's a monochromatic scale, which we probably don't want, but you notice how they are just different darker and lighter versions of it, right? Whoa, that's getting too big. Please back up. Please back up. Thank you. But what I usually go for, and that's too bad. This is what I went for. I think I went with one of these darker colors for the blue or the teal. I just don't like that red. That red is awful. Right?
Okay. I think it's too heavy.
So what I would do is probably use these right here, because even though this is a base color and this is the same base color, just use these three. So you have an FFAA00,
Yeah.
and then you have your B3B3, and then you can have any version of it, right?
Yeah.
So I would probably use those too, because this orange is fine, but with that drop down, I don't know if I would use the. I would probably use the same color as the header. Maybe, if not a little lighter color.
See, I was thinking about that, but then I was just like, I didn't like how it felt like it was just jutting down, and it's like, where's this thing starting / ending, sort of thing. But also,
That's why
like,
you need a. That's why you need a tab type effect, but
yeah,
that's
and I
that's
need
a
to
little
get
bit.
that done.
But that's a little minor. But anyways, have you seen the code for the Raspberry Pi?
The Pi video streaming thing. No, I haven't seen it just because I've been like studying and stuff.
So it's built in Golang.
Uh huh. I only saw that little bit that you were showing Walter.
Yep, and I'm trying to make it as simple as possible to use, right? So you import your two statements, the MJPEG and the Pi camera.
Mm-hmm.
Then you create your camera args, so the new arguments for your camera. So we set the width and height of the camera, and then we create a new camera from it, using those arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then using that camera, we use it however we want. We can get the frame, update the frame, and stuff like that. But what I have is what's called the MJPEG server. So I can tell it to right here, mjpeg.new, and pass in my Pi camera because it implements a certain interface, and it will serve up the camera image live.
Okay.
So really, it's just this line and these lines right here that are doing the camera stuff.
Right. Everything else is just like either it looks like debugging or
it's serving up like, so this right here is serving up a static page that has this HTML in it.
Mm-hmm.
This is building out that template. Context is a little bit too complicated, but that's simple enough to explain later.
Mm-hmm.
And the server mux is actually creating a server. But the idea would be, so MJPEG, here we are, MJPEG takes this frame getter interface called getFrame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes, and all that does is it returns the current frame of anything. And so it takes that frame and then returns it to the server however it needs to. That's why this is a server. But the idea is I can have another routine going that uses Pi frame or Pi camera to get the frame. And it gets its latest frame. So every time it needs a frame, it gets frame. But then it does its processing power and has its own getFrame method. So you'd have the main getFrame method that's the raw image. But then you'd have the processed image that has the rectangles and stuff. And you can have that on a separate thread. So, kind of building it out that way. It's a little complicated, but I'm trying to keep most of the stuff behind the scenes so that when it's time to get everything running, it's just import these things and change a few things around. So I don't have to like teach Golang to the extreme to get it to work. But anyways, I think we should call it a night.
Yep.
Deep, are you still on?
Deep is muted, but he's somewhere there.
I don't know if he's still here though.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know if I'll be able to edit. I'll try to get at least a video edited tonight and working, so that we can get it to up there tomorrow. But
Oh.
all right.
Okay.
Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
Right.
Had fun tonight.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, thanks for streaming, or thanks for following the stream. I'll see you guys later.